There we go. My fault. I clicked it. I clicked it. Can y'all hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Just want to make sure. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I've had to click the mic back on. All right, let me pull up this stuff. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. 1 second. Uh, and they updated this. You could tell I haven't been on this StreamYard in a minute. They updated, got some new features and shit. So I gotta I'm trying to get all this stuff back in order. So excuse me. Hmm. Okay, that's interesting. What's up, Poyo? Yeah, what's up? What's up? What's up, S3? Yeah, I'm trying to get everything back. Like, let me see. Wilson, I was supposed to pull up something else. So yeah, here we go. Pull this up. Pull that up. One second. I have no idea what that is. I really don't know because I don't look at the YouTube chat from YouTube itself. I use the StreamYard chat. So that must be a new feature I have to look into. All right, bring that up. There's something else I gotta bring up. My see. Come on. All right, man. Let me see. Fuck, man. No. Uh, yes. Yes, in comments. Yeah, it's been a while, man. It's been a while. I'm just trying to set everything up because, Jesus, I've been away for a hot minute. Thank you. I was trying to pull this up the first damn time. Oh, yeah, of course. Give me the damn. Thank you. Come on. Thank you. Enter, save. All right, got everything I wanted to pull up. God damn it. Go back to my channel. Go back to my profile page. Bring up that. I'm going to bring up this YouTube channel. All right, we should be good to go now. Okay. All right. Good. 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 So yeah. Welcome to the stream, guys. I know it's been a hot minute since I've actually um done a live stream. I've been very, very busy. As you may know, if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, a video I had did about a week ago, which I'll bring up the that's right. It only brings that up. So that's not. Let me remove that. And stop screen. Bam. Let's go add this again. Share screen. Window. We'll pull up this window. Yes. We'll pull that up. Add that. There we go. So yeah, if you go to my YouTube channel, I did a video about a week ago. About a week and 2 days, where I talk about some of the decisions that I decided to make moving forward for the YouTube channel. And I'll briefly go over that for those who are just coming here to the live stream and stuff. Yeah, so I decided to switch gears a bit when it comes to my YouTube channel or how I'm going to do content moving forward with the Mugen Lord channel and everything. I decided to change my priorities up as far as me being a content creator, and I decided that I wanted to spend most of my time in investment with my Venus Orion Comics channel. So now Venus Orion Comics is going to become my primary channel, and Mugen Lore is like the secondary channel, which I'll still be uploading content on here. I'm not abandoning this channel. It's just that content won't be as immediate, as it normally would be here on this YouTube channel and everything. I'll still be uploading videos. It just won't be as frequent as some of you may be used to when I upload content here on this channel, because I want to put a lot of emphasis. And I'm just been passionate about Venus Orion Comics, and it's kind of hard to do Venus Orion Comics while I'm still trying to maintain the Mugen Lord channel and trying to cater to an audience, saying this audience where my heart and my passion is really for Venus Orion Comics, pursuing my dreams as a creator and, creating comics. And eventually I want to develop my own video games. I want to get into anime, like my own animations. I want to do it all. So it's hard trying to divide my time into everything. I'm trying to cater to everybody. I'm trying to satisfy everybody, because I got my hentai audience, because I'm a 3D hentai animator making money from that. So I have to satisfy that audience. And the thing is, I can't even abandon that audience, because that audience actually makes me money, and that money gets reinvested into other things, especially Venus Orion Comics. So I have to do the 3D hentai to keep that extra income generated to help do the things that I do and stuff like that. So I would never abandon the 3D hentai stuff. So that, and then of course me trying to do Venus Orion Comics, and then trying to do gaming content here on the Mugen Lord channel. So what the hell? Oh, is it Mugen Lord stroking it down makes me believe, my grand, you only keeping me from killing myself. You're my Jesus. Oh my God. What is this? What's up, Neo? What's up? So that's the thing that I'm doing. I have a video in mind. And also too, when it comes to this YouTube channel now, since I'm not feeling guilty, or I'm not feeling pressured to try to put out content just to keep everyone satisfied and stuff like that. Now I can sit back and do longer form videos that I want to do. So there's something I want to do as far as Xbox is concerned, and the pride of, back then, of being an American and having a Western console and stuff that's in the console race that can actually compete and stuff like that. So I want to do a video on that. So I'm going to take my time with that video. I'm not going to just do what I normally do, just sit in front of a camera and just talk to you guys. No, I want to take my time with it and and do like a little retrospective or essay type video, about my experience with the Xbox, and what it brought to the table to gaming in itself up into the disaster that it is now. So now, since I am in no hurry, or I don't feel pressured to just release content at a timely manner and just release it how I want to, I'm gonna spend more time. So I'm not trying to chase the algorithm anymore with this channel. I'm not trying to chase it anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna work on that. And I don't care if people don't watch it or anything like that. It's something that I want to do. And that's what this channel is for now. My Mugen Lore channel is my break away from everything and just talk about things that I enjoy, which is gaming and other type of hobbies and stuff like that I want to do. And if people are here for it, fine. If they're not, I understand and stuff. So yeah, that's something I do want to work on as well. Is it on your release making everything fat and takes several years? Games about to make any games by itself. I compromise. Them trolls must be mad you're not giving them culture war red pills anymore. Yeah. I will. What's up, Grant? Yeah, Raph. The thing is, what I'm going back to what I normally do. If I'm going to give my opinion about certain things, as far as like, you know, political things and stuff, I'm gonna just keep it to my streams. So if you want to see that stuff, or you want to talk about the stuff like how we normally talk about stuff, then you got to come to my streams. If you want to get that version of Mugen Lord, you get what I'm saying? Just come to my streams. That it's going to be just left to that. Making it into content like I did by leaving the streams and making it into content. No, don't expect that from me. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to mention anything, especially if it's relevant to the video. I may bring it up in a video, but the content, the video itself is not the sole purpose, culture war anymore. If you get what I'm saying. So if you want Mugen Lord culture war takes, then it's going to be relegated back to the streams again. If you get my drift, if you get what I'm saying. So can we expect a review on Trails in the Sky first chapter remake though? Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna get the game. It's just a matter of if me playing it the moment I get it. Yeah, it's been a long time. He said, "I'm there, brother, living in Canada, boiling like lava." Will you talk about Mugen games? I gotta get back into Mugen. It's like Mugen. I have to get into that. I have to get into that hunger again for Mugen. I've been so out of Mugen. The only thing closest to Mugen I've been playing recently was Card Saga Wars. If you notice, I uploaded a Card Saga War video not too long ago. And you guys liked it. You guys liked it. So I may do another one at some point. I may. I'm not sure yet, but I may do some Mugen stuff. It's just that I have to be in it, and I have to feel it. You know what I'm saying? I really have to feel it. How's the book selling doing? Well, it's doing okay. I wouldn't say it's doing like spectacular. Like I said, like this is my first book. First books are normally like hard to sell. Like I made a couple sales. A lot of people are buying digital. Every once in a while, or every other day, I may get like a sell or two, or maybe three. But what I learned, especially talking to other indie comic people, when it comes to the comic and everything, when it comes to like indie comics and stuff, your first book, like if your first book is a banger, you in like the top maybe like 5 or maybe 1%, where that first book hits and everybody just keeps coming buying your first book. But normally your first book is not going to be the thing that's really going to push people. Okay, and I'm learning this because I'm getting like people are reviewing my book and I'm getting more positive reviews than anything. And I really appreciate that. I'm getting more positive reviews because people, they see the potential in this and they're interested in it. So I'm loving that. I've been getting links. People have been sending me links to their reviews and stuff like that. And people are liking where the potential of Varian Keller's vampire is killing and where Venus Orion is going. So that's a good thing. But when you come to the first book, especially when it comes to comics and more specifically indie comics, it's only one book. And most people don't dive into a series until there's enough books that's worth the investment. Because just because the first book come out is no guarantee that there will be another book. Anything can happen, especially in the indie comic space. There's no guarantee that there's another book. So people don't want to invest that time just yet until they know that there's some consistency going on. So I understand. So people are waiting. Some people are waiting. And another thing too is people still don't know that I exist. That's the whole thing. The marketing part is the hard part about it. And it has to be word of mouth. People have to talk about it. And plus advertising, which I'm going to cons. I went to my first con. My first con was a success. I sold quite a few books, and I was I'm really happy and proud of that. So my next con is Liberty Comic Con. It's not until next month, and then I have J1 Con, which I believe is going to be one of my biggest cons, and that's in Atlantic City. That's in September. I think that's going to be the one that's going to really bring people in with the first book, and everything. Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. One second. So I was joking though. I do enjoy that stuff, and it's how I originally discovered you years ago. Car Cycle Wars Unreality, one of my favorite fighting games. Yeah. Same here. Do you ever fear getting gunned down in Philadelphia before making your dream a reality? How do you cope with a 9 to 5 grind in the area where you could become another murder statistics? All right, like Philadelphia is definitely violent, but I don't think about that. I'm 38 years old. I'm 38 years old. You know, most of the time, you know, people that get gunned down here is sometimes, how can I put it? Me growing up in Philly, most people that got gunned down is people that's part of that life, that street life. Most people that get gunned down here is part of that street life. You may every once in a while have that person who's just at the wrong place at the wrong time. You may get that at times, but most of the time, the people that get murdered are the people that's part of that life, that's part of that lifestyle, or they're hanging around the wrong crowd. And they may not be like those people, but they're hanging around the wrong people. And because they was around the wrong people, people are looking for the people that you're hanging around, and you was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and it happens to you. And it's other cases now. It's happening more today than I would say a long time ago. We live more in a more and COVID did this too. We live more in an impatient society, in a society that's just like full of emotions, irrational emotions. Like for instance, like me, I grew up, you know, especially with my father in my life. I grew up to learn how to use my hands. Like I'm old school. Like if we want to throw down, let's throw down. Let's throw them hands up. I'm like a man out of time, like how Captain America is. No, I'm a man out of time, because a lot of people today don't think the way that I think, because they're not from that time period of where I was growing up in. So a long time ago, I was able to go out in the street if somebody was to fuck with me and stuff like that. I'm able to go out there and actually throw hands and don't worry about getting killed. Nowadays, I'm an older man. I have a daughter. She's on her way to college in 2 years. I got Venus and Ryan comics. I got so much to lose. I'm not trying to be out here trying to fight somebody, and even though they're the one that's trying to antagonize me, because I got more to lose. And especially what's going on today in Philadelphia, man, shit goes from 0 to 100 real quick. Somebody you'll bump into a person by accident, and now this person is ready to shoot you. You even after you apologize, like, yo, it's not a big deal. You know, like, I'm sorry, it was an accident, and now this person is ready to take your life. You know what I'm saying? So now you have to pick and choose your arguments. You have to pick and choose your battles, because people are crazy out here now. People are willing to kill you, especially growing up in the Black community and stuff. Things can go from something as a simple argument to now somebody's life is being taken, just like that. But I don't think about that. I don't walk around wondering if my life is going to be taken away from me. I don't walk around thinking if I'm going to be part of a statistics. Just like that's no different than a person that's going through life, you know, thinking that everything is racist or everyone is a Nazi, you know, and everybody who thinks about color and sexism and stuff like that. I don't think about that. I live my life. You know what I'm saying? And plus, I got God's hands around me, and that's how I believe. And me being a Christian, me having faith in God and stuff, God has his arms of protection around me, so I don't worry about me walking out in the street losing my life and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And plus, when I have a destination, I go to my destination and I go home. A lot of people who ends up getting into a lot of mess, or mess end up finding them because they're idle. A lot of people go out and have an idle mind. bored, and end up finding them, or they end up finding trouble. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about how you move. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how you move in society. It's all about how you move in your neighborhood. And it's all about your social circle. It's about the company that you keep. You got to know the company that you keep in your circle. You don't just bring anybody in your circle. You don't hang out with anybody. You got to vet people out, especially today. Today is crazy. And I appreciate it, DJ Gaming, where your stories offer an illusion to diversity being used to destroy nations. I don't know. I never thought about that. That's something that right now, like with my stories right now, that's not something I'm thinking about right now. I'm just like these past couple of weeks, I'm working on some backstories on a couple characters you haven't met yet. And oh my God, man, like it's really like being a story writer, man, as you write these characters, giving these characters personalities, and you know where you want them to go. I'm getting so attached to these characters. And like there's a couple of moments that I'm building with these characters that's really like a gut punch with these characters. It's like I know them on a personal level, and hopefully that will give you the same effect when you meet these characters and stuff like that. But no, I never thought about anything like that. Could I make a story or incorporate an arc that talks about how diversity can ruin a nation and stuff? I don't know. That could be something in the Nation's Avatar: The Great Samaritan series. That could be something that could be explored, since that's more of a political book than anything. The Great Samaritan, the Nation's Avatar. That could be something that I could possibly explore. It's not something I'm thinking about right now, and everything. But yeah, man. As far as the comics are going, it's going to take some time for it to for my comics to actually hit. In order to do that, especially I learned from Tyler Carpenter and many other indie people who's been in it for a minute, you need a catalog of books. I need more books. I have to make more books. But books cost money. Books cost a lot of fucking money. So in order for this to catch on, especially book 2, chapter 2 of VK, which I'm putting up my blood, sweat, and tears in this one, and so is my artist Jessica. She's going to put her blood, sweat, and tears in this because we start development in September. Because right now I'm spending the summer to allow my money to pile up. I want to have it pile up a bunch of money, so I can be able to get more pages produced within a month. Compared to the last time I did chapter 1, where I was only able to do 4 pages a month, I want to increase that account. So what I'm doing is I'm spending this summer letting the money pile up while I work on other things as far as my universe is concerned. So when September comes, when it's time to start getting around, now it's time to actually start drawing the book, getting everything together. I can pay her to get more pages done within a month and stuff. So that could help reduce the length it would take for me to release this book and stuff like that. Let me see. Plus, YouTube algorithm is not recommending any videos belonging any channel. Plus, I can ruin 8. Nintendo Tekken 8 is ruined by Nintendo because of the game Pokken tournament. I guess I smell troll. Are you worried? Are you worried about dangerous man hitting on your daughter and him trying to intimidate you? What if the man is bigger you or has a gang with him? When it comes to my child, when it comes to my daughter, I don't think like I said, I don't think about stuff like that. Because like I said before, like it's not something that like it can happen, but it's something that I don't think about. But if my daughter was ever in danger, like I would throw my life in the line for my daughter. It's my child. Any parent would. I don't care who that person is or whatever like that. But now my daughter, she's 16. She's growing up. She's liking boys and stuff like that. And I also teach my daughter to also think about me, think about her uncles, think about her grandfather, think about all the men in her life. So when she gets into these relationships too, I also tell her, always let me know what's going on. If your boyfriend or whoever put his hands on you, let me know. But I'm also teaching her too, do not provoke your significant other. Do not provoke your boyfriend or your fiance or your husband and stuff like that, because you don't understand what type of problem or situation that you put your father in, your uncles in, because we love you. You know what I'm saying? So if you do something to provoke a situation that could have been avoided or whatever like that, and if he put his hands on you or any harm comes your way, I'm your father. I will kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? So now you put your father in the situation. You put your uncles, because your uncles are very protective of you. Your grandfather is very protective of you. We would throw our lives, for you and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you also can't play those dangerous games either to put your loved ones in danger. It's more specifically your father. It's me, your father, I'm in danger. So I'm teaching her that, how to conduct herself as a young lady, and also to respect, her partner as well, as he should respect her as well. So I'm teaching her those things, but that's something I don't really think about. Said I warned you. He said haters gonna hate. He said drop, sling low, move on. Heaven forbid you have a different opinion than the collective. Yeah, Lavistro, what's up, man? What's up, Cameron? What's up, man? He's trolling. Yo, Brad. He said, "Was Superman woke like all the babies on Twitter are saying?" We want to get into that. We're gonna get into that in a second. We want to talk about Superman, because this is gonna be like a Superman review / chill stream as well. I want to get this review out of the way so we can go back to just chilling and stuff. Because what I want to do is I want this to also be clipped into a highlight so I can put it on the channel. So it's not only a stream, but it's also a YouTube video for the channel. Let me see. It said, I'm down for Mugen TV to be a variety channel. I did find you through that one specific Culture War video, but I'm sticking with you, dog. Oh, man, I appreciate it, man. He said, ask yourself, what kind of question was that? He said, she got the whole channel in her gang. Yo, what's up, Alarian? I like that, Alarian. I like that name. Us losers on the internet are also rooting for you, Mugen daughter. Billy, what's up? What's up? All right, so I guess let's get into the Spider-Man review. Like I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone. I'm live streaming and actually doing a video for YouTube at the same time that I can put up on the channel. So yes, this is going to be a Superman review because I've seen the movie. I went out with my daughter, my brothers, my dad, and just the family in general. We wanted to get out the house and do something. The weather was pretty good. And let's begin with the lead up to Superman itself, the new Superman movie that's led by James Gunn. I guess I can give you my history first of how I feel about the state of the DC universe all in itself. And let's go back in time when Zack Snyder had pretty much essentially announced that he will be doing a Superman movie, which is Man of Steel. And I'm going to put this out there. I am no Snyder fanboy, and I'm going to say this 100 times over, just in case people only see like the beginning part of this cut of this video. I am not a Snyder fanboy at all. In fact, Snyder ruined the potential of the DCEU in the entirety. You know what I'm saying? He's responsible for the downfall. He started it, and then the studio took it over and then just finished what he started and everything. But out of all the DC movies, I really enjoyed Man of Steel. And I would say I like the first Wonder Woman movie. They were the only DC movies, the only two DC movies from the Snyderverse that I enjoyed. Everything else was just dog shit, like just garbage or whatever. But when it came to Man of Steel, I would say that's one of my favorite superhero movies of all time, because my whole life I've grown up watching the old Superman films with Christopher Reeves. Love those. Got those on DVD. And Superman Return was such a bummer because now we haven't seen a Superman film since the old Superman films that I've grown up to watch, that my parents introduced me to when I was just a little child at the time. So now during the new era of Superman Return, I was like, yo, new technology now. You get what I'm saying? I can't wait to see an actual Superman movie where Superman actually throws down. He's fighting powerful villains and everything, because I've grown up watching the Superman animated series. I read some of the comic books growing up as a little kid, some of them, and also the Justice League. So I'm saying about time that we can actually see what a new Superman is capable of with Brandon Routh as Superman at that time. And that movie was such a damn disappointment. It was so lame. It was the worst, one of the worst Superman movies I've ever watched at that time. And we haven't heard anything from Superman ever again until we get to Zack Snyder and the Man of Steel. And Man of Steel, man, is a movie that really calls out to me. Like three movies, I guess you would say three big movies, superhero movies that really like resonated with me is Blade, Man of Steel, and I would say Batman, Batman, was it Returns or was it which one I like? Which Michael Keaton Batman I like? I kind of like, I don't know. Was it Return? Batman Return. So it's Batman Return, Blade, and then of course, as I said before, Man of Steel. I guess we also throw in Iron Man. Those are the four like superhero movies that's really I really hold close to my heart. Those four superhero movies are like my all-time favorites. Love the hell out of those superhero movies. Those are the ones that really get me. But Man of Steel, man, if it finally gave me a Superman movie that I've always wanted to see on the big screen. You know, the music score and just the emotions that was in that film. And then oh my God, the action, man, like General Zod and Fiora. Oh my God, dude. It's like a dream come true. Finally seeing it on the big screen, an epic battle with Superman. You know what I'm saying? And we actually get to see Superman's actual strength in these films. You know what I'm saying? And I like the fact is that what DC was doing was much different than what Marvel was doing. DC was taking more of a more dark and more grounded approach. And I liked how they went to like how they did Man of Steel was like, what if Superman was like how would in the real world, how would the world see Superman? You know, a being from outer space that come here and has these amazing powers, and how would the government, how would the people view him? So I liked that. It was much different than what the MCU was producing, which weren't bad at the time. This is where the MCU was at its highest point at that time. So I was like, good, we're getting alternatives, and Man of Steel had offered that alternative, and it was one of my favorite. Now I have my gripes with Man of Steel too. And the thing is, I'm not going to go through the entire, because I can do a whole video on that. But I did have my issues with the movie. But I was like, yo, with a sequel, they can improve and work on these issues. But fast forward, the DCEU is going. So now we got James Gunn coming in, and James Gunn is now supposed to be like the Kevin Feige for this new DC universe that they're putting together. And I was saying to myself, you know, the Guardians of the Galaxy, it was a fun, entertaining film, especially the first one. I enjoyed the first one. I didn't watch the third one. The second one was okay. I liked the first one more than the second one. And the thing about James Gunn, as I said before, he's known for deconstructing superheroes, and he creates them in a sense that fits his writing style. You know, so a lot of people don't like the jokes that he has, that he puts in a lot of these like superheroes films, but he's good with an ensemble cast. That's why Guardians of the Galaxy worked. And it brought a lot of attention to Guardians of the Galaxy, because Guardians of the Galaxy is a very extreme, obscure property for Marvel. Like you really got to be a deep Marvel fan in order for you to really grasp or really be into Guardians of the Galaxy. They weren't like the highlight Marvel, you know, team, you know, that people would know in the mainstream. And James Gunn had really brought the Guardians of the Galaxy out. But the only issue is the Guardians of the Galaxy you see in the movies ain't nothing like the Guardians of the Galaxy in the comic books. Nothing like them at all. So this is where a lot of hardcore comic book fans has an issue with James Gunn, because he deconstructs and he creates his own versions of these heroes. And look at Suicide Squad, you know, what he done and what he done with that. So now that we hear that he's doing he's in charge of the DC universe, the cinematic universe, the DCU, you know, a lot of comic book fans are not really happy with that, because now you're giving him the treasure box or the keys to the chest to all of these DC properties, all of them, including Superman. So a lot of comic book fans, hardcore fans, and this is the thing, I read comic books growing up. I would be considered still a tourist or a casual. I wasn't like an avid comic book reader that read them dedicatedly. You know what I'm saying? My father was big into comics. Like, I got into comics because of my father. My father introduced me to comics. I used to read his comics while he read his latest issues of comics and stuff. But as I got older, I strayed away from it and went straight more into the whole anime aspect and stuff. So I didn't really go out and buy, comics. The only comics that I do own that are like from DC and stuff like that. Give me a second, guys. There we go. Is these two right here that I still have. I have Under the Red Hood. I love the fuck out of this book. I have Under the Red Hood, and I got Batman Hush. Love these. Love these books. And my friend let me borrow Watchmen around the time Watchmen, the movie, was coming out, and I fell in love with Watchmen before the movie came out. I went to watch Watchmen before the movie came out. No, I went to go read Watchmen before the movie came out and fell in love with Watchmen. And I started going, my friend Dante, he was introducing me to all these DC classics. And I didn't realize how deep, like, and dark, like, DC Comics is. You know what I'm saying? Because I more so grew up with Marvel. My dad has DC and Marvel, but he more so has Marvel. He more so leans Marvel than he leans DC. But once my friend Dante got me hooked to, like, DC Comics, man, I was like, yo, I'm liking DC more than Marvel because, like, damn, this shit is, like, dark. Like, I mean, this shit is dark as hell. But so yeah, so seeing James Gunn, have his take on this new DC cinematic universe, caused a lot of worry within the comic book community. And as far as the casuals are concerned, I mean, casuals weren't concerned and stuff. They liked what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy. So you can already see where this is going to head as far as communities are concerned. Because you have the casuals who don't know shit about, the DC properties and the lore behind these characters. They only know what's presented in the movies or what's in cartoons and everything. And then you have the hardcore, avid, loyal, dedicated comic book fans who know everything about the characters, every iteration of the characters. So now you got James Gunn in the middle of this. And this is where you will start to see that collision come into place. So the only question I had when it came to the Superman film that's going to be led by James Gunn himself is what the casting is going to be like. Because we were, you came to my channel. A lot of you guys came to my channel because of some of the culture war stuff that I used to talk about on my channel and everything. And we talked about how Hollywood has been pretty much taken over by a lot of these activists and things like that. So there's a lot of push for, diversity, inclusion, and a lot of the actors, the way they promote these films have pretty much been snubbing the actual fans by calling them racist, homophobic, all these other type of things. So we already know the history of how normally these things would go. So my question was like, okay, he's doing it. And you know how I am. I talked about this before. Like, I'm not going to judge the director just yet until I actually see something. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just hearing their name and say, oh man, because it's the same thing with the whole Ben Affleck and Batman casting. Like, a lot of people were upset at that. First, I was about to really rage at it, but I stopped for a minute. I said, you know what? Let me give Ben Affleck a chance. And then when I heard about what's his name from Twilight, that played the Batman, Matt Reeves Batman. Can't remember his name right now. But when I even heard him and the rumors that he was going to be the new Batman, I said, you know what? Don't rage at this. Don't rage at this at all. Is because I don't know. He may actually be a good Batman. But anyway, I digress. So when we get the announcement of, is it Taylor Lautner? No, I'm trying to. Robert Pattinson. There you go. Thanks. Robert Pattinson. So yeah, when Robert Pattinson was announced and the rumors were true, I said, you know what? Don't get upset because I don't know. He could actually pull this off. So I learned to start giving actors and directors and producers a chance, to see if they can win me over. So I've learned to do that. And Chris Patterson, Robert Patterson, my fault. Robert Patterson, I thought he was pretty good in the Batman. I have some issues with the Batman, not a lot of issues, but I enjoyed the Batman as well. So there's that. But yes, now James Gunn. But now we're starting to get some of the casting, and we start seeing some of the casting. People say, "Oh man, about time!" Like, Jimmy is actually white. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And Lois Lane's actually a girl, actually a woman. She's not and stuff like that. So you start getting all these jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this may be some hope in this. After seeing the casting of a lot of the major characters, and yes, the movie did have some maybe like one or two race swaps and stuff like that, but we'll get into later into that. But yeah, so people started being a bit hopeful. Some of the comic book people and everything started being hopeful, and I was like, okay, I'm cautiously optimistic about this, but I still need to see more. So then we finally got the reveal of the costume. The costume for Superman, and I was not a big fan. I was not a big fan. What's up, Nate? What's up, Landon? He can't stand Reese, so it's pointless. Yeah, so when it came to the costume of Superman, I was kind of iffy on it. I was not liking it. It was like it didn't have like the muscle look on it. It looked like it's too much space. It's like he's barely fitting in it and everything. But then I said to myself, these are like the set photos. These are not like how it's going to look once it's in post-production with the effects and stuff. Because I'm also gonna be honest, like when I saw the set photos for Man of Steel, I was kind of iffy on that suit as well. But once I saw the actual trailer, it looks much better in the trailer and stuff like that. So I said to myself, I still said to myself when it came to this Superman film, when I saw the costume, I wasn't a big fan, but I said, my brother's Key on Strike was definitely against the suit. They was trashing it. But I said I was still optimistic, saying that, you know what, this is just a photo set or whatever like that. Let's just wait. Let's just wait until we actually see how it looks when the effects are on and stuff like that. Because I like even when it came to the Flashpoint, when they showed Supergirl on Flashpoint, and we seen the photo set of Supergirl's costume, and I wasn't really feeling it. But when I actually see the suit, when I went to go see Flashpoint because I want to see Michael Keaton as one of my favorite Batmans. She looked really good in that suit. Like Supergirl in that Flashpoint, she looked good in that suit. That suit fit her body really, really good. So, like I said before, it's totally different watching the photo set of like a costume, a superhero costume, compared to actually seeing it in the theater once you got the post effects and all that type of stuff. So what happened was, I said, I'm gonna give it a chance. So then we finally start getting news that Krypto the dog was in it. I was like, what? Krypto? Why the fuck is Krypto in this film? And then we got an announcement that Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific. I say, wait a minute, is this a Superman film or is this a Justice League film? And so now I'm getting nervous. I'm getting nervous because it seems like, it's like James Gunn is throwing everything at the wall with this to see what sticks. Why are we cramming all this into one film? And then once James Gunn started announcing his lineups of films for the DC universe, we found out that he may be doing Batman Brave and the Bold, called Batman Brave and the Bold, and that Damian's going to be the Robin in this universe. I say, wait a minute, we're skipping a whole lore, a whole history of the Bat family. We're going straight to Damian. Now, don't get me wrong. I got the Batman animated films with Damian. Damian, that's my dude. That's that little nigga. I like Damian. I haven't read him in the comics, But in the animated films, I like Damian. But I'm like, so we're going to just skip straight to Damian, which means we're going to skip the Red Hood with Jason Todd. I mean, I guess a lot of people would like the fact that we could finally see a Nightwing in live action and stuff like that. But we're missing a lot of Batman lore, a lot of Batman like rich stories that Batman has, and we're going straight to Damian. So now I'm getting kind of nervous, is because we're going way ahead of ourselves, and we didn't even restart this universe yet, And now seeing that we got Hawk Girl, and we're starting to see there's going to be Mr. Terrific in it, Green Lantern, all squished into a Superman film, and then we got the casting for Metamorpho. I was like, what the fuck? Like Metamorpho in a movie? Like we getting it in a Superman movie. What is going on? Like, why are we getting all this in one movie? So I started really getting scared and concerned for the film. So now we actually that's why I just wanted to bring you to like my mindset. You've seen everything that I've said on Twitter. Like every time the trailers came out, the trailers seemed so bipolar. It seemed like it's just so much different shit going on, and it just seems so chaotic. It just doesn't seem like it's uniformed and everything. And if you watch if you go to my Twitter, I was saying that this shit looks bad. I was talking shit about, and I can admit when I talk shit about something, and can also turn around and say, you know what, that I was also kind of wrong on certain things. I can admit that. I don't have that ego to where I'm never wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. I think it takes a lot of strength to admit when you're wrong about something. So now we're going to actually get into the review itself. So let us begin with this review. So hey guys, this is Mugen Lord here, and welcome to the Superman review, because I just saw the movie. And if you came to the stream, I gave you guys a bit of backstory about my journey leading up to the actual Superman release. So we're going to dive right into it. As I said before, James Gunn, he's in charge of the DC universe now, and a lot of people have been skeptical about it, especially after you started seeing a lot of the I guess you would say the promotion behind it, and also the trailers, which had a lot of people conflicted on it. And I was one of those people who was definitely conflicted on it. You go to my Twitter, I was talking a lot of trash about it and everything like that, and was very, very concerned, as any fan should be. They should be concerned and want to ask questions. So I started asking questions and ragging on it. And of course, there was some questionable, I guess you say, marketing, especially when it came to Variety. You got this queer journalist who is an instigator, because he went there to pretty much try to spark a culture war at the premiere of Superman by asking them about, the director, which, James Gunn, and asking the actors how they feel about manga, and the fact is that, Superman is an immigrant and all this other type of stuff. And you can see the awkwardness, especially with Nathan Fillion. He didn't know how to answer it, because you could see how quiet, and it was so awkward when I saw that interview when the Variety interviewer was asking them what did they think about manga and their response to Superman, being an immigrant and stuff. And Nathan Fillion, you could see in his face that he really didn't want to answer it, but he also had to answer it in some kind of way. And his answer, some people may not like his answer, because he said, "Come on, guys, somebody need a hug, or it's just a movie." Some people may get upset with that, but I think that was an answer. To me, I was fine with that answer. Like, because you always see in his body language, he really didn't want to answer it, but he put it out there just to try to get it by and stuff. And also James Gunn did everything in his power to try to avoid any type of social cultural war controversy that can actually hurt the film. And I respected his answer as well. I think the only person that really screwed up was James Gunn's brother, who really screwed it up. But I believe that he also walked that back as well. So they already know if you bring anything culture war into these superhero films, you're going to destroy your film before it even launches. So I think they really, I guess, went to these celebrities, went to these stars, and really sat down with them and told them how to avoid, or what to avoid, when it comes to this particular type of thing. So yes, there was controversy. People didn't like the fact that when James Gunn or many other people was asking about you know, the Superman slogan, you know, that everybody loved since the Christopher Reeves movie and stuff like that. And they didn't mention the word American or America and stuff. So there's a whole lot that people were really on the fence about and wary about because of what we've been going through for over a decade when it comes to the culture war. So this movie, in its own, in its sense, had this polarizing thing to it. So you know me, I like Superman. I've grown up watching Justice League, the animated series of Superman, and also my dad collect comics and stuff. So I used to casually read them as well. So I'm a fan of Superman. So despite James Gunn doing this Superman film, and despite me ragging on this film, I'm still the type of person that I have to go watch it for myself before I can fully formulate my opinion when it comes to this Superman film. And I'm not going to sit there and allow any YouTuber to influence my decision or influence the way I think about the film. I'm going to go in with my mind open, and I'm going in with very low expectations. And that's what I did going into the film. So how did I feel about the film? Was the film any good? And the short answer is, before I actually go through with the film, the short answer is the film was enjoyable. I enjoyed the film. I had a good time with the film, with my daughter and with the rest of the family. The film isn't bad, but the film isn't great either. It's just a film. It's just an enjoyable popcorn film. And in my personal opinion, that's all movie. If anything they need to accomplish is, did I walk out the film and felt as though that I got my money's worth and actually enjoyed myself while I was in the theaters. And what this Superman had done, it gave me that enjoyment. And as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to this film, the film does have its issues, but I believe if they fix those issues, I think that we can possibly have a competent Superman, I guess you say trilogy or a Superman franchise in this new DC cinematic universe. So we're going to dive into some of the details. Now, the first of my concerns was, when it came to this film, was how jarring it was in the trailers. That it seemed like that there was so much going on in this film by the trailers. I'm talking about the trailers. How it just seemed like, you know, Superman fighting kaijus. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Mr. Terrific. You got you got Metamorpho. You got a Hawk Girl. You got all these different characters just mushed into this one film. And I'm gonna tell you this. It wasn't as jarring that I thought it was going to be. It didn't feel like crammed as I thought. And I guess I can give you one of my gripes that I had was the opening of the movie. I think the opening was the laziest thing in a movie. And what I mean by lazy is what James Gunn did was he did an opening text crawl, which, you know, like a wall of text. He pretty much did an opening text crawl to catch you up to how Superman started and to where he's at now. That's what he did in a wall of text. In the Antarctic area, like were you seeing the trailers where Krypto was picking him up in the snow? It starts there. And Superman's not there yet. You just see the Antarctic area and just a wall of text, and it's explaining that he crashed. Explained that metahumans has been popping up, and the government and the world doesn't know how to react and how to deal with them. And then it says that Superman came from Krypton. He came from outer space and everything. He's an alien, and it talks about how the world started viewing Superman ever since he decided to go out and be Superman and start saving people. So it's pretty much like he's been Superman for, I guess you would say, about 3 years. He's been Superman. So he's been around for just a little bit donning the uniform and the cape and the uniform. And it explains that up until this point, Superman never had a challenge until today, which is where the movie takes place, where it opens up. He says Superman never had a challenge until now. And this challenge that he has received or he's getting is from this person called Ultraman. Ultraman is kicking his ass. I mean, Ultraman was beating his ass. So after the crawl goes away, Superman he crashes down into the snow. And that's where you see the trailer where he's hurt and everything. And he can pretty much barely move his body. And that's where he whistles for Krypto. So the trailer pretty much gave you a whiff of some of that. Now, as far as the Krypto is concerned, like, how do I feel about Krypto? I thought Krypto was like in the comics in general, and even watching Super Friends growing up, I just thought the idea of Superman have a super dog, to me, in my personal opinion, is fucking stupid. I never liked the Krypto to begin with. But Krypto isn't in the movie as much as I thought he was going to be in the movie. Yes, he had his moments in there to sell merchandise and to bring that funny humor to it. But I thought he was going to be like all in the movie, but no, he was in it in the right amount that I can handle in the film and everything. But there is a reason why Krypto's in the film, which if you don't want to be spoiled, I advise you leave once we get to the ending. However, but there's a reason why Krypto's in the film. So the biggest gripe people had was that Superman is very weak. Throughout the whole entire film, he was getting his ass kicked in the film, and even the trailers are showing him getting his ass kicked and everything. Now, after watching the film, I'm seeing why he's getting his ass kicked in a bit more context, because when the film starts, it tells you that Ultraman was beating his ass, and then when Krypto carries him to the Force of Solitude, and the droids carry him to put him in this to get the solar light to power him up, it was explaining that Superman was only at 83%. Like when he was fighting Ultraman, because Ultraman beat his ass that bad. When he was at 100%, he beat him down to 83%. And since then, Superman had no time to rest. So now they're trying to power him up, charge him up, and everything. So they're setting up how the solar energy really affects him, and everything like that. So that was another reason, and he says it's going to take him some time to actually get to actually recover and everything. So that was giving you a little bit of that why he was getting his ass beat. And another thing too, which we'll get back to when it comes to him getting his ass beat, is that we didn't really have much time with Clark Kent. Clark Kent, to me, if you remove Clark Kent from the movie, it really wouldn't have made much of a difference. Like, I'm starting to notice with and I think the MCU really did this and really damaged this, is the removal of the superhero identity, the removal of it, where it doesn't matter anymore. And the reason why I mentioned the MCU is because Iron Man, when Tony Stark's at the very end of the first movie, he said, "I'm Iron Man." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, wow, we really doing this? Like he's really going to just put his identity out there like that? So ever since that, we start seeing that pattern where a lot of these newer superhero films, they don't really have secret identities anymore. People pretty much know who they are, or they reveal themselves to their significant others right away. So even in this film, Lois Lane already knows Clark Kent is Superman. Matter of fact, they've been dating for some time now. So I'm like, wow, like I missed the whole Superman and Clark Kent like persona. That was a very essential part of Superman's identity and everything, and the stories that it creates and stuff like that. And they totally just eliminated that. Like Lois Lane knows he's Superman. They're already dating each other, so there's really no point of the whole Clark Kent. Yes, the other people within the Daily Planet don't know that he's Clark Kent, but it really doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything at all, So that was kind of a bummer. Now, to address the other scene where people didn't like the fact is that people didn't like how emotional that Superman was, especially in that scene where he was arguing with Lois Lane during an interview. And after watching that with some context as well, like I kind of understand why he's like frustrated as hell. For the simple fact is, during this interview, like he was saying to Lois that, hey, like, if you want, you can interview me. You can interview me as Superman, since only Clark Kent was able to interview Superman because he is Superman. So she's seen this as an opportunity. Now, what I liked about Lois Lane and the female characters, which we're going to talk about, there were no girl bosses in this film. This film wasn't really woke at all. There was no girl bosses in this film, and Lois Lane wasn't portrayed as a girl boss in this. She was actually a passionate news reporter. And what I liked about Lois Lane in this film, when she was explaining to Clark, she was saying that, yeah, like, I know what's going on with this war because you're my boyfriend. You're Superman. I know this, but I'm a journalist. I have to get down to the truth, no matter if you're my boyfriend or not. It's a matter of getting down to the truth and asking these hard questions that is hard to ask. And I liked that about her, because the reason why he got frustrated is that Superman, he's Superman. He sees what he's doing as him stopping a war between two countries and him saving the lives of others. But Lois Lane is trying to bring him into reality, saying that, yes, I understand that, but you also got to look at the ramifications of your choices and how that looks to the public eye. Because what you just did over here is you acted on the behalf of the U.S., and Superman said, no, I'm acting on the behalf of myself. But Lois Lane trying to explain, no, I understand that what you're doing is acting, that you believe that you're doing it for yourself, which you truly are. But you live here in America. You came in and intervened with a war. And since you pretty much are from the US, you're speaking on our behalf with your actions. And that started frustrating him and stuff like that. And it started getting him upset because he's only seeing it from his perspective, because he has the ability to do so. You have to imagine, you are a person from a whole nother planet, and you have powers beyond what anybody can ever imagine. And you want to take that power and you want to put it to some good use. And then you have people who question that use, because you're a powerful being. You're pretty much practically a god. And this will bring some concern to the world itself, because how can we put a man like him in check? So these were valid questions. So yes, there will be, I can understand why he's mad and why he's angry and why he's frustrated, especially, like I said, he's only been at it for 3 years. This Superman is more, you could tell that he's still beginning to understand, the responsibility of being Superman. And he also has that naivety. He's very naive, because he definitely, another thing that was an issue that Lois didn't understand, and what Mr. Terrific and them didn't understand, is that no matter what, he's seen the good in people, no matter what, So that was a naivety in him too, as well, especially after that message that his family from Krypton, which we're about to get into, and pretty soon when it comes to that. Now, also, to get back to the other cast members, Lex Luthor, in my personal opinion, I liked it. I liked his portrayal in this film. This is the first time we actually got a different, I wouldn't say different, but we got a mixture of a couple Lex Luthors. We got the mad scientist, genius, real estate mogul and stuff like that, crammed into one. And all I gotta say is that Lex Luthor, like, he's the embodiment of hate. This dude is a hater. And I like the fact is that he explains why he hates Superman and how much it burns his soul of his existence and stuff. And you will see this in the cartoon as well, why he couldn't stand Superman. But I like how he went through that whole monologue of why he can't stand Superman and everything. And you also have to understand, even in this universe, Lex is like a respected guy, one of the most powerful men, on Earth. And here it is, you have this alien that came out of nowhere, and everybody is like pretty much glazing Superman, but not glazing him. So this is pretty much like the biggest hater, But yes, I like what they've done with Lex Luthor, and he also does something in the film that I didn't expect him to do. but you know, I'm not going to spoil that. I'm not going to spoil that what it is or like that. But I said, oh wow, that was ruthless of him or whatever like that. So I liked the portrayal of him. I can't wait to see what more they can do with the character. But yes, we got a genius Lex Luthor, like a smart Lex Luthor. I mean, this dude he found a way to tear a hole and create a pocket a dimension to hold metahumans, or just to throw in to imprison people he don't like. Like this dude was a pure genius and everything. So I liked this Lex Luthor. At first, I didn't think I was going to like him because of what the trailers had, but I think he portrayed the actor portrayed him pretty good as this interpretation as Lex Luthor. And as I said before, Corn Sweat, the actor who does Superman, I didn't think he was a bad Superman at all. I still prefer Henry Cavill, but he wasn't a bad Superman. I think his acting was pretty good, his performance was pretty good, and everything. But back to Lex Luthor and his mad science genius. He also has this person called the Engineer, which is the chick that you see in the trailer with the long braids, which a lot of people thought that she was going to be a girl boss. She was not a girl boss at all in this film at all. She respected Lex Luthor. She wasn't walking around acting like she was a badass. She wanted the same dream, or she wanted to have Lex's dreams live through her, because he wants to get rid of Superman so bad. She wanted to fulfill his dream so bad that she gave her life to science and allowed Lex Luthor to do experiments on her. So what happens is she has nanotechnology in her, nanites. So now she can shape her body into weapons and everything like that. So she wanted to be a tool and a weapon for Lex Luthor to finish Superman. And what I liked about it was she didn't really have a lot of screen time either. She served her purpose. She went in, infiltrated the Forces of Solitude along with Ultraman, because her and Ultraman works with Lex Luthor. Both of them work together with Lex Luthor. So those two shared the screen together. And she wasn't like this ultimate, feminist dream and everything like that. No, like she really was down with Lex Luthor. Like she would do anything. She gave her body to science for him. And she was useful to him when he invaded the Forces of Solitude. She plugged herself into the database to get all this information and stuff like that. And I liked her character. And the thing was, like I said, when it came to Superman, him getting fucked up, he was getting jumped most of the time. Ultraman and the Engineer was like jumping on Superman. Like he had to fight both of them at the same time. The same way Henry Cavill had to fight Fiora, the giant Kryptonian in General Zod. It was the same thing. We want to explain. No, we about to get to that. We're gonna get into that part about Bizarro. I think Ultraman is spoiler alert. I think Ultraman is actually Bizarro. He's Ultraman and Bizarro. And why do I say that? Because when his mask come off and he looks like Superman, we find out that he is a clone of Superman. And when Lex Luthor describes Ultraman, he said that he's retarded, pretty much, that he's stupid. So in a sense, that's bizarre. That is Bizarro. That's a mix. That's Ultraman and Bizarro as one character. That's what I think they did. I think they took Ultraman and mixed him with Bizarro. And if you saw the ending when he got sucked into that black hole, I think that black hole is probably want to mess his face up or something like that, or do something to his skin color and stuff like that. He may come back as Bizarro, but I think that's what it is. I think it's two characters in one that they decided to go with this film. That's what I think they did. That's what Chad, he called Ultraman the or yeah. That's why I think that that's what they did with this film. Also, they said we'll get Bizarro in the next Superman film. Yeah, I think we may get Bizarro in the next film or a future film. But I think that's not the end of Ultraman when he fell into that black hole. I think that may turn him even more. Like I think that may deform him, because right in this movie he wasn't deformed, but like I said, Lex Luthor called him stupid and like retarded, pretty much. But he was still like Ultraman. But I think him falling into that black hole and falling into that rift that may do something to him where he actually going to end up being the Bizarro that we know. So I'm willing to give some wiggle room for that. So I don't really have any issues with that at all. Also, the Justice Gang. We will talk about the Justice Gang. The Justice Gang was a group that consists of 3 metahumans, which is Green Lantern, which is Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, and Mr. Terrifics. Wait 1 second. So what is Dean Cain's? I don't know what he said, Landon. Yeah, so when it came to the Justice Gang, with the introduction of Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawk Girl, what can I say about those characters? There's really not much you can say about them. They were in the film, but you didn't really get any like backstory about them. They were pretty. What we got from them is that they were put together to pretty much help Superman. Like if Superman is off doing something else, then the Justice Gang is off handling other things that Superman is not around to be, because he can't be everywhere at once and stuff like that. So those 3 got together and formulate that team and stuff. So they also help fight the bad guys with Superman at times. So now the thing is, when it came to like the performance of these of the 3, I would say if I was to rank them, Mr. Terrific was number 1. Then it was Guy Gardner. Then it was Hawk Girl. Hawk Girl didn't really have much going on. She was just there. You know, she's a pretty chick with wings. She was just there. And I wouldn't say her performance was bad. Her performance wasn't bad. It just wasn't much for her to do. She was just part of the team, and she was just fucking shit up. That's all. You know what I'm saying? But she is ruthless. She is ruthless. I would say that, because like especially at one of the villains, like when it came to the war and stuff like that, I didn't expect her to do what she did or whatever like that. So she is ruthless. But Guy Gardner was he was more like the comic relief. I like the Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. At first, like, I'm still against the casting, because like Nathan Fillion, like if he was a bit younger, fine, like he would be perfect. But the fact is that he's an older actor. They plan on doing these movies to last for the next 10 years and stuff, and he's not getting any younger. He's getting older. You know what I'm saying? But man, he was a funny dude. Now, there's a lot of people who don't know nothing about the Lantern Corps. A lot of people are only familiar with John Stewart because a lot of them grew up with the Justice League cartoon. But no, there's a lot of different Green Lanterns, especially ones that came from Earth. You have Hal Jordan, Kyle Ryder, you have Guy Gardner, and you have John Stewart. They're like the four main ones that I know of. And a lot of people's not familiar with Guy Gardner. So a lot of people say, why is his haircut like that? It's silly. Like what is James Gunn doing? And not knowing that that's how he actually looks in the comic books. And out of all the Green Lanterns, Guy Gardner is the biggest asshole. He's always been an asshole. So he's not any type of allegory for any other person in real life or anything like that. No, Guy Gardner is actually an asshole and stuff like that. And I thought he was a fun character. I thought Nathan Fillion had done a good job with him, even though they didn't really do much. They didn't do much in the film, you know. And that was where we get to some of the issues with the film when it comes to Superman. Is that the biggest issue for me was that there wasn't enough Superman in the film, because he had to share it with everybody else. And this is the problem when you're creating a shared universe, especially a cinematic universe. You only got so much time to be able to try to set so many things up. And now we have gotten to this era since the MCU has ruined it. It was a good formula at first, but what the MCU has done with the shared universe is that now every movie is trying to create a shared universe, or every movie is trying to set up a sequel. And now we're not getting a self-contained film anymore. So what Superman is doing, since this is a shared universe, the reason why we're getting Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, and we're getting Mr. Terrific is because they're trying to set up so many other potential spin-offs, streaming shows. We're getting other film sequels and all this other type of stuff. So now what's going on is it's taking a lot of the shine off of Superman himself, because we're trying to set up other characters for future IPs or for future products. And that's where I would say that MCU has pretty much destroyed movie making when it comes to that sense. So yes, you get where Superman crashes down from getting his ass kicked from Ultraman. He recovers. He becomes, you'll see Clark Kent. Then he dons the costume again to fight the Kanju, that big Kanju creature. Now, this is the thing that I had an issue with when it came to social media and when it comes to some of these content creators. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I want to bring up the fact about the Kanju, is because I'm not sure if it was Nerdrotic or who was it. I'm not going to say names because I can't remember who it was I watched, and so I don't want to accuse anybody. I don't want to accuse anybody of that or whatever like that, because I can't remember exactly which content creator it was, because I watched it. I watched a couple of content creators before I went into the movies to watch it and stuff like that. But somebody, one of the content creators who was mentioned that the Kanju scene, that the editing was bad, it was horrible, and where he talked about how the Kanju was revealed at nighttime, but then it skips to the next day. Superman finally arrives to fight it or something like that. So they were saying, so this person was pretty much saying that, so what was going on between that time period, and how did they not know that this Kanju was terrorizing the city and stuff like that, especially when it's that huge? So I said, yeah, that sounds kind of dumb, but I was like, I'm gonna go watch the movie myself to go find out what that is, what that's about. So after watching the movie and actually saw some fucking context with it, the monster was a fucking baby at night. They opened the cage and it was a little baby, and they let it go run free. So the next day it grew into something much bigger because it was eating at night, and it grew to something much larger the next day. And even the news reporters mentioned that they said, yeah, we're hearing rumors that the more it eats, the more it grows and stuff like that. So it's letting you know the whole entire context of it. It wasn't that this Kanju was running around as a big giant Kanju at night, and then Superman finally got around to attacking it the next day. No, it was a fucking baby running around at first, and then it eventually grew in size over time. It was in hiding. It was running around and hiding, eating shit. So it makes sense. But if everybody sit there and watch and listen to that YouTuber and not go to and not see it for themselves or get context of it, and this YouTuber went to the movies and saw it for themselves and then went out there and actually lied about it and stuff like that, which we'll talk more about that after I finish the review. But yeah, so we got a chance of the context of that Kanju creature and stuff. And Superman didn't want to kill it. Superman wanted to find a way to move it and stuff like that. And Mr. Terrific and Green Lantern and Hawk Girl say, "Are you serious? Like, no, like what are you talking about?" and stuff like that. So it gave you a sense of what type of Superman this is. He was saving not only children. This dude saved a squirrel. This is more of a young, naive Superman that just see good in everything, even in that Kanju that was trying to destroy things and stuff like that. He wanted to try to not kill it and stuff. So this is the type of Superman that we had in this film. Now, here is the controversy that pissed a lot of people off. Now, a lot of people didn't like this because they're saying that this was like a deconstruction. People didn't like this. They found it disrespectful to the character or whatever like that. So, Superman's parents. Now, we've seen every interpretation of his Kryptonian parents throughout all the different films. So, Lex Luthor came up and devised a plan of how to make the world turn against Superman. So there's two things that piss people off within this whole plan of Lex Luthor. First, the first thing was when Superman the first thing was Lex Luthor wanted to find a way to be able to take out Superman, but he needed permission from the government, because the government argument was that we can't go after Superman because he has the backing of the people. The people love him. If we go after Superman, the people is going to turn on us. We can't just flat out go after this dude. And besides, this dude brought peace to a lot of different conflicts and stuff like that. So, like, yes, he can, like, this dude can oppose to be, he can be a threat, but at the same time, this dude is doing a lot of good. So Lex Luthor had to have some type of proof to try to make him Superman seem like a threat. Now, what Lex Luthor did was Lex Luthor had created his own type of metahuman force that pretty much can act as a way to crack down on metahumans, and also also as a way to stop Superman. But he needed the okay in the backing from the government, and he needed to somewhat be in charge of it. So you also had the government saying, like, I don't know, man, because I mean, you're LexCorp. Like, there's a lot of benefits on your end for doing something like this. Yeah, I understand that you're concerned about Superman, but why would we give you some type of military power and stuff like that to handle metahumans and stuff? So they were also leery of Lex Luthor as well. So he needed to devise a plan. So so this was the plan. They had to break into the Fortress of Solitude, which they did. The engineer and Ultraman and them all broke into it, and they went into his computer. And in the film, they set up earlier that he always loved to hear Superman always loved to hear the message from his Kryptonian parents, but there is some breakage in the footage that he don't know what the other part of the message is. So the genius that Lex Luthor is, and you know, he was able to decipher or get it deciphered to find out what the other part of the message is. So this is where people were upset. So pretty much what they did was, with Superman's Kryptonian parents, the rest of the message was pretty much saying that we're pretty much made his parents assholes. They were pretty much saying that, you know, he's essentially like humans are pretty much inferior beings, and that he's pretty much a god, and that Earth is the perfect place to pretty much spread his seed. They literally, his mom literally came out and said, yeah, like your job is to come to Earth and have a harem of women, of Earth women, have a whole harem of women, and to spread your Kryptonian seeds so you can have Kryptonian children and reshape Earth and the Kryptonian image and stuff like that. So a lot of Superman fans, a lot of people were pretty much was upset. They pretty much wanted him to be like Abraham or something like that for the Bible or some shit like have all these different concubines and shit like that, and all these children and all this other type of stuff like that. But yeah, that they didn't like that. They wanted him, and I mean they have comic books where Superman would spread his seed. Especially one of the comic books I've seen recently. It was an older comic book where a virus had went out and killed every man, and the only person that didn't get affected was Superman, and the only thing was left was all nothing but women, and they were pretty. And Superman and a lot of this Wonder Woman, Supergirl, all of them, they were pretty much saying that they were saying like, yo, we have to repopulate the planet. So Superman was pretty much had to sleep with like all the superheroes and even some of the villains, some of these women. And Lois was also like not really feeling that idea because she had to share him with all the women and stuff. So yeah, so there was like different stories where we had something like that where, you know, or interpretations where they had like little Elseworld stories that had stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of people didn't like that his parents were like scumbags, or in a sense like pricks, saying that, yo, like humans are inferior and you are the ones supposed to guide them and spread your Kryptonian seeds with the women and formulate and bring together a harem of different women to spread your seeds and to shape the Earth into the Kryptonian image, the Kryptonian rule, the Kryptonian law, the Kryptonian way. So that was the issue that people had. So the other issue that people were talking about when the rumors came out saying that how Superman was getting taken down was through social media. Well, that is true, but at the same time, that's not the full story. The main thing that took Superman down was that footage that Lex Luthor got a hold of and was on the news, and the news played it throughout the cities. Everybody was on their mobile phones and saw the message, and Superman saw the message too, because he, like I said, he never could make out what that other part of the message is. So he says, didn't Mallrats have a conversation about normal women not being able to take a load from Superman? Yeah. Some women from one of those books that I read, that some of the women can't handle Kryptonian sperm or something like that. Some of the women couldn't handle it, so they had to start. So they couldn't use regular human women. But like I said, this is James Gunn. So like I said before, they can tell whatever story, like he could tell the story that he wants to tell, to be able to do that and stuff like that. But in that Elseworld story of Superman, no, the human women couldn't take the Kryptonian sperm, so he only could sleep with metahuman, like metahuman women and stuff like that. And Wonder Woman was like madly in love with Superman too, but she had to hold her feelings, especially when she got jealous when she found out that Lois Lane was having his baby. For some strange reason, Lois was the only one that was able to handle his sperm and stuff like that. But Wonder Woman wanted a piece of Superman too. Like, it was a lot of women that was down with getting knocked off by Superman. So that's why this idea of Superman having a hero was not too far-fetched, because I'm pretty sure there would probably be a lot of women out there that would want to sleep with Superman anyway. So I don't know. They must have it must be an adorable woman to handle Superman. Yeah. So I can't see a universe where a woman don't want to sleep with Superman. You know what I'm saying? So the heroine part is not far-fetched. But if you look at the social media, how they was portraying, oh yeah, go out and rape bitches. Like I no, his parents wasn't going out telling him to rape women. Like, I'm pretty sure that there will be women that would line up to sleep with Superman, like willingly line up to sleep with him. You know, so that wasn't the message that they were sending to him, to rape women and stuff. So I think that was a little over exaggerated and stuff to get people to rage out and everything. So if you don't have the context, you wouldn't know. You would just take that for what it is. So yeah, people was upset with that. So the thing that more so people was upset about before the movie came out was when Superman turns himself in. Superman turns himself in because he want the people to trust him, and he want the government to trust him. So he turns himself in, and he only to find out that Lex Luthor, before he gets taken in, he goes back to the Force of Solitude, because he said the only person that go in the Force of Solitude is me. So how did Lex Luthor get a hold of it? So he goes to the Force of Solitude and find that Krypto was hurt, and that's where the dog scene comes in. Where he busts through and say, yo, like, what the hell did you do to my dog? Like, what the hell did you... No, the dog was... Krypto was missing. My fault. Krypto was missing. He said, what the hell did you do to the... Like, where's the dog? Where is he? And stuff like that. He was upset. And there's also another underlying context of why he was he's upset about that damn dog. We'll get into that in a second, too. There's a lot of context to a lot of this stuff. So yeah. So he turned himself in only to find out that Lex Luthor is in charge of the program of locking him up. So he sends Superman to this dimensional, this dimensional rift where he's imprisoned at. And that's where he finds out that Lex Luthor literally had monkeys in front of a bunch of these CGI monkeys in this dimensional rift. All is like thousands of computers, and his monkeys on social media just type with bot accounts talking shit about Superman. Talking shit. And yo, he was talking bad shit. Them quotes, dog, like they was talking bad shit about Superman. Them damn monkeys were talking bad shit. So they were like, so these monkeys were like bot accounts talking shit about him, but it wasn't social media that took him down, like how people were spreading that news. No, it was that damn message about his parents that took him down. It wasn't them damn monkeys. The monkeys added fuel to it, but it was that damn message that spread it all over the world. So yeah, like hashtag super shit. Yeah. So yeah. So that was the context of that, and that's where you met Metamorpho. Metamorpho was used because kryptonite is pretty much scarce on Earth. So they had put Metamorpho in that prison because they holding his son hostage, that baby. They used Lex Luthor had Metamorpho shapeshift into kryptonite to weaken Superman, to hold him there so he can't break free and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway. but just to fast forward and just to get past all this, pretty much the Justice Gang, well, more so Mr. Terrific and Lois Lane, had to find out where Superman was taken to. They can't find Superman because what happened was Lex Luthor wants a piece of that country that's at war. Now, people saying that it was is an allegory for what? Was it the Gaza or Israel, something like that? And the whole thing about the war was like the center focus, but it doesn't go into detail what the war is about. It just said that these two countries are at war and there's death going on and they just want this war to stop. That's it. They didn't go into any further like political narratives in it. It's just that they just want people to stop dying. That's the whole narrative around the war. We just want people to stop dying. Let's just stop this war. But they don't go through any narrative to tell you with this say Ukraine and Israel. Yeah. They didn't go into any like detail what the actual war is. So they weren't trying to they wasn't trying to use a message to hammer into you about any of it. It was like a surface level. They just want this war to end. No more people should die. Just end this war. You know, and the people wanted Superman to end it and stuff like that. So that was that. So there wasn't really any other political thing under it and stuff. So Mr. Terrific and Lois Lane pretty much they found out through Jimmy. Jimmy had an inside source, which was Lex Luthor's girlfriend, who he treats like shit. So a woman scorned, she got mad at how Lex Luthor treated her. She went back to Jimmy and told Jimmy everything. And that's how Lois and Mr. Terrific found out that he was in the pocket dimension, and they went to go rescue him to get him out of that prison. And this is where we actually see Mr. Terrific in action with his technology and his genius and stuff like that. And it was cool. I like Mr. Terrific as a character. Like he's cool. Should he get a spinoff? No, he's a supporting character. I don't like when supporting characters in general. I don't care if it's Mr. Terrific. I don't care who it is. I don't like when supporting characters get an entire series to themselves. I like the character because they are a supporting character. They support the main character and stuff. And that's how I see things. Like I hate when they gave Catwoman, her own thing and stuff like that. I don't like that. Like I don't care. Like I like Catwoman and them because she's in Batman. Like I don't want to spin off about Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is cool because of Joker and stuff like that. I don't want to see a series just about her. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Mr. Terrific is a cool character, but I don't think I want to watch a series about him. Like, he's cool in Superman. For myself, what's the next Superman getting kicked in the dick? Be epic. So to wrap all this up, Superman, they figured out what the plan was, and Superman finally get his lick back. He fight Ultraman and he fights the engineer. He puts the engineer down. The mask come off of Ultraman. Ultraman, you kind of found out, it's a clone of Superman that Lex Luthor had cloned, and Superman ends up beating his ass or whatever like that, and sends him off into like this black hole and everything. And that was essentially it. So let's get to like the cameo, a special cameo appearance, and why Krypto was in the film. There was a reason why Krypto was in the film, and Lois Lane didn't even know that Superman had a dog, and Superman had to explain to Mr. Terrific and them, said it's a long story or whatever like that. But anyway, there's a reason why Krypto was in the film. The reason why Krypto was in the film was because he was babysitting the dog, or dog sitting, for Kara, Supergirl. Supergirl is in the film. She's at the end of the film. Supergirl's at the end of the film, and he was watching Krypto for her because Krypto is her dog. And in this version of Supergirl the Disney finally made a Superman film. Yeah, Supergirl is pretty much a teenage delinquent. She's a party girl and a drunk. So what happened was Supergirl was hopping. She was like pretty much like bar hopping, but in a sense, she was planet hopping. She would hop to different planets that had a red sun, where she would go party and get drunk because Kryptonians can't get drunk. So in order for her to get drunk, she has to go to a planet that has red suns. So she was going around hopping to different planets, going to different bars and parties to get drunk. And then now that she's finished partying, she comes back to planet Earth, and you hear this loud noise, and she crashes into the Fortress of Solitude. And she's drunk as fuck. And she was like, Clark, like, where's my dog? And that's how you find out that the dog is hers. And Crypto runs over and knocks her over, biting on her, fucking her up. And now you find out and you understand why Crypto is such a bad dog. Like he fucks everything up. He's a bad, untrained dog. And it's not because of Superman, it's because of Supergirl and her attitude and behavior. The dog gets that behavior from her. So this version of Supergirl is actually a version in the comics, which James Gunn is adapting. They said that this version, from what I've understand, that this version is the most brutal version of Supergirl. I mean, like, don't piss her off type of Supergirl. She's like a teenager with a lot of emotion and rage, and stuff like that. And if you piss her off, it's bad news for everybody. So they going with this version of Supergirl. This is the version of Supergirl that they're going with. So another thing that I didn't like with a lot of the anti-woke YouTubers, they was making a big deal about how no one respected Superman. And I was like, that's far from the truth. Everybody wanted Superman to end the fucking war. Everybody's like, where the hell is Superman? Like, everybody respected him. This is why Lex Luthor needed to get rid of Superman so this war can continue, so it can pretty much financially benefit him, since he was the one that was arming. That was the arms dealer. Was the arms dealer behind all this. He was the manufacturer behind all this. And Superman was in the way of all this. And that's why they had to find Superman, because Superman was the only one that was able to put an end to this war. So we had this narrative saying that no one respected him. Man, there was a lot of respect that people had for Superman in the film. And then they try to use Supergirl as the example of him not getting respect, because at the end of the film, that Supergirl called Superman a bitch, but there's a context behind it. Like, the chick was drunk. She's a drunk teenager, and throughout the whole time while she was drunk, she's just saying stupid shit out of her mouth. And when she takes Crypto, she walks away drunk, can't even walk, and she calls him a bitch and then walk off. She's saying she's drunk or whatever like that. It wasn't like she was just her regular self, and then she just came out and just wanted to call him a bitch, just to call him a bitch and shit like that. But no, she was a drunk teenager into trouble and stuff like that, and she called him a bitch because the whole thing with the dog or whatever. But so the choice to make her it's an odd choice, but that's a version from the comics. That's the version from the comics. This is not a made up version of Supergirl. This is from the comics. Superman reveals what scene origin in the Flash, the stupid drunk cameo, the terrible 2 scene, the poop jokes, the dick kicks, and stuff like that. But other than that, man, the movie was a fun watch. It wasn't a great movie, but it wasn't a bad movie. How can I put it? This film reminds me of what it was like when Marvel and DC was first making superhero movies, where they were just superhero films. It was just their version of the film. Like give you an example, like X-Men. Like the X-Men films wasn't like the X-Men that I grew up in the cartoons and stuff like that. It was just this version of X-Men, but they were good popcorn, enjoyable films. Even Blade, for example. You know, the Blade movies with Wesley Snipes is not even anywhere near the Blade anywhere near what Blade is like in the comics. But guess what? They were good films. They were good films. The Blade, except for the third one. The third one was trash. The first 2 Blade films were actually good films, but that and Wesley Snipes' Blade was nothing like the Blade in the comics, but everybody was okay with that because it was an enjoyable film. And on top of that, they were great films. This James Gunn Superman wasn't a bad film, but it wasn't a good film, but it was an enjoyable popcorn film that, hey, I walked away. I said, yo, I sat down and watched it. I said, yo, I'm enjoying myself watching this film and everything like that. And it accomplished that. So if I was to give it a score, I would say this was like a 6 out of 10 for me. This movie was a 6 out of 10. Yeah, Blade was nowhere as cool as in the films. So where does this rank on your favorite Superman films? I'm new here. Man of Steel is my number one. Man of Steel is my number one. Christopher Reeves is number 2. And then I would say this, I think James Gunn would be number 3. And then the last one is Superman Returns, the Brandon Routh Superman film. Superman Return was just trash. Like, that shit was just trash. I had more enjoyment out of the James Gunn than the Superman Return. Superman Return was garbage. But I had fun. I literally had fun watching this. So this what brings me back to this other situation here with these superhero films. Now, I fell asleep on Superman Returns. That shit was boring as fuck. Superman Return was boring as fuck. What's up, Taco? Remember the Superman Returns video game? That was actually, I actually liked the video game though. That Superman Returns video game was actually pretty cool. I had that on Xbox. Was it the 360? I can't remember. No, it was just Xbox. It was just Xbox. I had that game. Superman Returns was kind of fun. No, it was fun. That was actually you actually felt like Superman in that game. That game was actually fun. So yeah, so this is where we get to when it comes to superhero films. What exactly do we want from superhero films? What exactly do we want from superhero films? Can we have a mixture of a few things, or does it have to only be one thing? For example, like, do we want 100% comic accurate superhero movie, or do we want a little bit of a mixture of comic accurate and some liberty of changes to our comic book films? Because let's think about Michael Keaton's Batman. Was that comic book accurate, or was it just a Batman movie, an interesting, fun Batman movie at the time? Like with the first Batman, and then Batman Returns with Catwoman and Penguin, and them, were they comically accurate, or what did it or did it at least harness the spirit of the characters? You know what I'm saying? And with this James Gunn Superman reminds me of that era where it has some of that essence of and elements of, pulled from some of the comics itself, but at the same time is being its own thing. It's a movie, a comic book movie. Change is good, but you have to be careful what you change and how you change it. I agree with that. They should be their own thing. Otherwise, what's the point of adapting them? So I hated Jimmy Olsen and Superman. It was too goofy with all the girls that were on him. Yeah, it was kind of fun. That's the whole thing. Like, my brother's like, yo, why are the bitches on him like this? I found it kind of funny. I found it kind of funny and stuff. It was odd, but it was funny. But as I said before, this was an enjoyable film. It wasn't a great film, but it wasn't a bad film. It wasn't. In my personal opinion, it wasn't a bad film, but it wasn't a great film, but it was enjoyable. I walked in there and I enjoyed myself by the time I walked out of the theater. He said he was smashing. Yeah, he said he was smashing Lake's chick. Ain't no way. So I would say a mixture. Some people say that just because something is from the comics doesn't always mean it's good. What you thought? Dude, you just took it from my mouth. You just took the words out of my mouth. I'm about to mention that because he opened because Lex Luthor's chick, she was fine. She was a baddie, yo. But he had on the phone on his ID. Well, actually, that was actually Jimmy's girl first. That wasn't Lex's girl. Jimmy broke up with her, and she just started fucking with Lex, I believe, because remember she kept asking like when are we gonna get back together and all this other type of stuff and everything. So they were once seeing each other at some point, but yeah, he had on the car ID he called her mutant toes, so something about her toes or something like that, which you never seen or whatever. But I found that kind of funny because like, who is that he's talking? Why he has that in his phone? But he was referring to her. Yeah, there can be some stupid thing in comics. Yeah, and this is the thing. This is the most comic book film I've ever seen in a minute. Like, this Superman is very comic booky. We talking about dimensional rifts, you know what I'm saying? Kaijus. It was all kinds of comic booky things. Something that comic book fans say that they want comic book movies to be more of. So yeah, it was comic booky. And when you get comic booky, there's certain things that's going to be kind of goofy in these films and stuff. And this was comic booky. It may be too much for some people's taste. So I can see why people will be upset at that. I can definitely see why, because it was super comic booky. And that comes with a lot of baggage with that. Oh yeah, Mr. Terrific like Mr. Terrific, he's very antisocial. Like when Lois Lane was trying to explain her relationship with Superman, he kept giving her that look like, bitch, shut up. I don't care about I don't care about their emotional stuff. He said like that's what's so funny about him, that he don't care about people's emotions. He don't care about those things. Emotions means nothing to him. The other scene too is when he's trying to stop the rift, because after Lex Luthor did what he did, because he wants to destroy Superman so bad, he's willing to allow the rift to suck in Metropolis. And the scientist dude said to Mr. Terrific, is like, hey, let me help you. He said, help me? I'm Mr. Terrific, nigga. Like that was the part. That was my part, though. He said, help me? I'm Mr. Terrific. Like he got on there on that joint. I like, yo, dude, I really liked him in this. I really did. He was a chill, laid back person in the film. Like when they say he steals the spotlight, it wasn't saying like he was like, oh man, super badass. No, he was just a chill dude. Like he brought aura to the scene. He brought aura every time they showed him. He brought aura to that scene. Just being him, like he wasn't like he was very quiet. He's very quiet. He didn't talk much. He was a man of very few words. Since I grew up in, and I never liked him as Mr. Terrific. I think he's like DC, and like DC have a lot of heroes. Like when Justice League Unlimited came out, there were so many heroes I was introduced to that I just thought was lame as fuck. I just thought like Mr. Terrific, to me, in my personal opinion, I think he's lame. Like I don't really care. But this film, I like what they did. I like his portrayal. He wasn't he wasn't like super over the top. He's just a chill, mellow dude who didn't who wasn't super full of himself. You know what I'm saying? And he was like the dude that brought balance to a scene. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like Mr. Terrific was cool. I like when characters act cocky and then get murked too. Always a fun time. So who's the best Lois Lane of the live action Superman movie? What's your rank? The Christopher Reeve Superman is always going to be the best one. She had there was enough time to flesh her out. There was more to her character. It was sad that we didn't get a chance to really get a lot of Lois Lane in Snyderverse, like fleshed out. I'm talking about like they didn't really flesh her out. Like I said, like the Snyderverse was the biggest robbery, and that was all due to Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder robbed us, like he robbed us. He fucked everything up. Like that was the biggest ball drop ever, in Hollywood or like comic book movie history. Like you fumbled entire universe. Like the Snyderverse is the biggest fumble. Like it still frustrates me that we'll never get a chance to see an actually fully fleshed out Ben Affleck Batman. We never get a chance to see a fully fleshed out Henry Cavill Superman. We'll never get a chance to see any of that shit. I said thoughts on Tumblr Superman. Saw the stream title on Walking into Snyderverse getting bashed as it should. He said, I like 80. No, 80. No. She was a good choice for Lois Lane, but as far as ranking her, I can't rank her as number one because they didn't do nothing with her character that was worthwhile. He said, "Imagine, that'd be funny." Yeah, I think she's a gorgeous woman too. Amy Adams, but they did nothing with her character. Like the Snyderverse, like fuck Zack Snyder. Like, and I don't understand how he has such a loyal base as far as the Snyderverse is concerned. Like the man fucked it up. Like he fumbled an entire universe, and people still want a Snyder cut of shit and want them to continue. No, like for instance, I was interested in a Jared Leto Joker. This was a different Joker like that we seen in the Snyderverse, like with the Suicide Squad. He's more like an urban like Joker. I was interested, and Jared Leto's not a bad actor. I wanted to see what he was going to bring to the table, but we never seen anything. Like it was just ruined, and it was all because of Zack Snyder and Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman was the fall of the DCEU. Like I said, I'm not going to go into like a full thing. I want to save that for like a separate video / stream. But he ruined that. Like that was the biggest fumble, and then questionable casting choices of some characters was very, very questionable and stuff. So yeah, man, that was the biggest fumble, man. Yeah, they did nothing. Like they did nothing with her Lois Lane. Because I played DC Online 2 days ago after seeing the movie, and there were Mr. Terrifics everywhere. I haven't played DC Universe in a long time. I used to play that a lot. He said John was one of my favorite characters in the Justice League cartoon. I just don't think many people would go to. No, I don't want to see a solo Martian Manhunter. Like he's like I think he's a cool character, but he's not a stand. He doesn't have standalone power. I don't want to see a Martian Manhunter movie. He belongs in ensembles films. Mr. Terrific, he belongs in ensemble films. He don't need a solo TV series. He don't need a solo movie. He's perfectly fine. Because like I said, just because a character is good in these one moments in a movie doesn't mean that he or she can carry an entire movie by themselves. And I think that's where people are starting to fuck that shit up. Not everybody deserves a solo film or a spinoff. Had some cool moments and some very odd choices. Jared Joker was fine in Justice League Snyder Cut, but in Suicide Squad, he was fucking awful. There was really nothing in the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut was ass. We didn't really get nothing of Joker in the Snyder Cut, but that ending scene that made no fucking sense. They know he works best bouncing off other characters. Yeah, always wanted a Raven movie since I first watched Teen Titans, but nowadays, I wouldn't even want to watch Raven by herself. Like she only belongs to the Titans. Like, I don't want to see a Raven movie by herself. The Snyder Cut was like 10 seconds of content. No, that Justice League Snyder Cut was too damn long, dude. I was so bored. Like I didn't even like Justice League, but I was so bored of the Snyder Cut. I was so bored of that damn film. Me, my dad, my brothers, we had to break that up into 2 days. We watched the first 2 hours and watched the last 2 hours the next day. Because he's not going to sit down and do 4 hours of that shit. Hearing Batman saying he will fucking kill Joker was so odd. Yeah, like Zack Snyder is a fucking moron. Like I don't care what nobody say. Like I said before, there was a literal interview where because to me and my personal opinion, Zack Snyder is full of himself. This dude thinks that he's like the Shakespeare like of the movie industry and shit like that. Like this dude is just like a genius or something. I remember in the interview, he literally said that he's gonna fuck these characters up. He literally said during the meeting after Man of Steel, they asked, "What are we going to do next with the next Man of Steel movie?" And he said, "This is what I want to do." He said at the boardroom, he said, "I want to kill Superman." Everybody at the boardroom almost passed out when he said that. Almost passed out. And then he said, "And I want Batman in it." I'm like, no one was brave enough or had the balls to stop this nigga. No one had the balls to stop this nigga at all. They allowed this nigga to do this shit. So not only went to kill, not only they went to cram Batman instead of just starting off with a solo Batman film, so we get a chance to understand this Batman. Put Batman in it. Give us two different kinds of movies. Because then once he made the announcement that this is an older Batman in like his 50s, I'm like, what the fuck is he? I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like we getting an older Batman, but we got a younger super. Like, what is going on here? What is he doing? So he wanted to do the Frank Miller Batman, the Dark Knight Returns, while putting the death of Superman in the film. I'm like, we didn't have time. We didn't have time to get to know Henry Cavill's Superman to get attached enough to something as critical as the death of Superman. Like, what are you doing, boy? Like boss, like, bro, what are you doing? It's like, bro, like, dog. He said, I like Raven miniseries, but John Constantine would a better choice for Arcane part. Yeah. I mean, I can't get into Constantine, not my thing. I said, though Raven single movie would make for a good high school drama. That a great high school drama. But yeah, that will work. Zack Snyder is supported. Bro, yeah, dude is full of himself. So now that's the crazy thing, that how he was able to fumble an entire universe, and then they gave him permission to start another franchise, Rebel Moon, that didn't go anywhere. And that was supposed to be a Zack Snyder's script that was originally supposed to be for a potential Star Wars movie. But Disney turned that shit down because they was creating bullshit of their own. They didn't want to add extra bullshit that to what they were already creating. And then what was it? Netflix allowed this dude to run with that shit. I didn't even bother to watch Rebel Moon. I wasn't wasting my time with that bullshit. It said boot main. And I see Rebel Moon 1 and 2. The writing is weak in those movies. Maybe what allows free reign. Yeah, not to mention we need a Man of Steel sequel. I still hope Batman joins. Fuck it. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they want to do it. Because like I said, like, they can't do it if they want to use Robert Pattinson's Batman. How they want to do it if they're supposed to be having Damian in this version or whatever, which means this Batman has to be a little bit older. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. But overall, I would give this movie a 6 out of 10. It was an okay movie. But it was okay, enjoyable movie. And this where it brings this question is, do we want an 100% accurate superhero film, or do we want a superhero film that does take some of the essence of the superhero, of the IP that they're making a movie of, while doing something different, or just throw it all away? Because like I said before, Blade movies weren't comically accurate, but they were enjoyable films or whatever. Like, it was just the spirit. The X-Men films, like, nothing like the X-Men that I grew up with. But I liked the first two movies. They were, and a lot of you guys I know probably like it too. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man, I think that's the closest one that was like taking things from the comics and stuff like that. But the Sam Raimi Spider-Man was still its own thing. Like I said, the Michael Keaton Batmans, nothing like, it's the essence and the spirit of Batman, but there's nothing like them, nothing like the comics or whatever like that. But it's the spirit and the essence of it. So is it okay for us to return to that, or do we need all of our superhero movies to be 100% comic book accurate, 100% comic book accurate, or close enough? So I definitely want to hear your thoughts when it comes to that. I definitely want to hear your thoughts and when you think about that when with superhero movies moving forward. I miss the thing I do miss about superhero films is that how superhero films weren't as formulaic as they are today. because they're more formulaic, because they're doing this shared universe thing, and stuff like that. I thought it would have been pretty cool that DC, what they could have did was they could have went back to the old way of doing these doing superhero films, where they're their own self-contained films, but within these films, they have their own little universe. Like, for instance, the Batman films or whatever can have their own version of Superman in that film, only for that film. It's not connected to any other, it's not a connected shared universe, but it's their own interpretation relegated to that universe's movies, lines of movies, if you get what I'm saying. But this Superman film had their own version of Batman to tell the story that they want to tell, only for that. There's no connection to other films. It's just in their own, these line of films is its own unique universe itself to tell their own stories and have their own versions of these characters to tell the stories that they want to tell or whatever. He said, remember how many comic nerds freaked out at Hugh Jackman being too tall for Wolverine? Exactly. Like I when I first saw Hugh Jackman, it wasn't even the height. I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. This shit look ass. And this is back then. But man, when I went to the movie theater to see X-Men, man, it had the heart of X-Men. It had the essence of X-Men. And there was a lot of questionable design, questionable choices in the first X-Men films, but we didn't give a fuck back then because it still had that essence of X-Men, but we enjoyed them for what they were. I kind of wish that we go back to that. I kind of wish that we go back to that. I kind of wish that we go back to that. Now we like everything is so formulaic. Everything has to follow a formula now. And when you start to follow a formula, everything starts to feel the same. Now every producer, every writer, everybody's constrained. Everybody has to follow this particular guideline to stay consistent and all these different type of things. You know what I'm saying? I do kind of miss that era. Like I said, Blade was a good movie, but Blade was not anything like the comics at all. But it was the essence of Blade. It still had the essence of Blade, but it was nothing. It was nothing like the comics. Nothing like it at all. Nothing. But people love that film. I want the film to have the essence of the animes here, with build up, grounded, no politics, and now that not a single one would deny that he's right for it. Close enough. I mean, look at what we got with Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man. He killed it. Yeah, exactly. LG, exactly. So I kind of wish that we get back to that. I kind of wish that, despite the shared universe thing is cool and stuff like that, I think it really ruins the setup for films now. It really ruins the film, the storytelling, the filmmaking and stuff, because now every movie is an advertisement for the next movie. You know, everything's starting to feel like a product. They're not feeling like entertainment, or they're not feeling like fun movies anymore. A lot of stuff is starting to feel like products now. You know what I'm saying? And back then, when you didn't have this shared universe, you was able to tell the stories in creative ways and take liberties to do certain things with characters and stuff like that. And sometimes, did they land all the time? No, but you would go along for the ride, and you got things like Blade, you got things like X-Men, you got things like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, you got those things and stuff because they were still the essence of these characters. They may not be 100%, or they may not even be accurate at all to the comics, but they were the essence of those characters and stuff like that. And I kind of missed that or whatever, because when it comes to this Superman film too, this Superman film was nothing but advertisement for the next DC movies that they have in line. And we've been seeing that, and like I said, the MCU is to blame for this entire formula. But it's to blame for it. Everybody's trying to do this. Everybody's not trying to tell a self-contained story anymore. They're just trying to pile up and prep and put all this advertisement and storytelling to advertise future properties and future spin-offs and stuff like that. Yup, the only Blade. Agree. Same here. The essence of the character is important. Yeah, like so when did we ever lose that though? Like, when did we ever lose that? Like, even look at the Fantastic Four, the original Fantastic Four. Man, fuck the new. I'm not even wasting my. That movie. I'm not even wasting my time to watch. But the first original the first made by Fox, I love the hell out of that damn movie. And none of those characters, especially the origin of Doctor Doom and stuff like that, none of that was comically accurate at all. But that was a fun damn film. That was a fun damn film. Like, I still love that one. Joining said James Gunn did go from Marvel after all. Yeah, it was a fun damn film. That first Fantastic Four film by Fox. Love that damn film. I'm thinking about watching that pretty soon. I haven't seen that in a while, but I enjoyed that film. I definitely enjoyed that film. So I kind of wish that we go back to that era where it gives you a chance. It gives you a chance to be able to tell the writers and producers, and it allows them to be able to tell other types of stories. You get what I'm saying? Allow them to be able to tell the stories that they want to tell or whatever, and even take risks to try to tell other stories. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would love to see that. Like, I would love to see a Red Hood movie, like Under the Hood and stuff like that. They'd be able, and it's a self-contained movie and stuff like that. Or, like I said, you start off with this Batman and stuff like that, and it's not, and like I said, it's self-contained, but it has other characters and other heroes. They wanted to put other heroes in it to tell their story for this little self-contained universe of this trilogy or sequences of movies and stuff like that lead to certain events and stuff like that. I think that would be pretty cool, because if remember Under the Red Hood in the comic, Batman had to speak with, if I can remember, Batman had to talk to Zatanna, because he was already speculating that this Red Hood might be Jason Todd. He was still in denial, but he wanted to make sure. So in that comic book, he had to talk with Superman, because he asked Superman what was it like when he died. He met with Zatanna, and I think he met with Green Arrow too, if I can remember. Was it another? No. Was that Green Arrow? Was it Green Arrow in that book? There was a couple cameos, and this is what I'm talking about. Can you imagine having a line of movies where other heroes can make cameos, but that's that movie's universe interpretation of those heroes? It's not a version of a shared universe of all these different properties, but it's just that version of that hero within this movie universe that they're making of this particular, IP or whatever like that. He said, I rewatched both, and Rise of Silver Surfer felt more in line. Zatanna, Batman needs to learn to shred that. No, I didn't say Santana, I said Zatanna. I said, it would have gotten to the point if they kept on that track with Fantastic Four. Also, Mugen Lord, do you have any goddamn idea why Hollywood and all these mega corporations are pushing Pedro Pascal so hard? Like, who the hell is this guy? He's so meteor. Bro, I didn't know who Pedro Pascal was until what's the name of that? The Mandalorian. And the Mandalorian, the first season, like, I thought he was so badass, and until he took that helmet off, I said, what? I'm like, this what this dude look like underneath this fucking helmet? I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Like put that helmet back on. Dog, you just destroyed the whole illusion that I had built up of the Mandalorian. I thought he was such a badass character, like a Master Chief type character, and then we see this motherfucker underneath the damn helmet. And then after the Mandalorian, the reason why he got all that push is because the Mandalorian, because I didn't know who the fuck this nigga was until the Mandalorian. And then people loved the Mandalorian. Only the first 2 seasons was fun. Like I dipped out after that. After the second season, I dipped out because the second season I started getting a little shaky on it because there was a lot of things, a lot of shit that I didn't like in that joint. But I dipped out of that. But it was the Mandalorian. That's why he got that push. It was the fucking Mandalorian that gave him that push. Then he popped up as Max Lord, who was supposed to be an allegory for Donald Trump and the Wonder Woman. And they said it. They said he was supposed to, he's an allegory for Donald Trump. They said that. his name Max Lord. I think that's his name, right? Yeah. He was an allegory for Trump. In the Wonder Woman was it 1982? Yeah, like they just destroyed it. Like I hate like I don't know why like it's just crazy how much they keep overusing this dude. And then Mr. Fantastic of all characters, fuck me. And then they just confirmed that he's the leader of the new Avengers. I enjoyed the Rise of Silver Surfer. I think, nah, what ruined Rise of Silver Surfer is that one, they turned Johnny Storm into almost pretty much Super Skrull, and then two, they robbed us of Galactus. The fact that they robbed us of Galactus destroyed the entire movie. That was the whole point. When I think of Silver Surfer, I think of Galactus. So I was like, oh shit, they doing that actual arc when he came to Earth, and that means Galactus is going to be in it. I was like, sign me up. And then we didn't get that. They trolled us with Galactus. What's your favorite DC animation movie, bro? That's a loaded fucking question. Like you add that is like I don't even know where to begin. Matter of fact, I'm gonna save that for a tier list stream. So I'm not going to answer that. So stay tuned. I'll make an announcement on my community tab when I'll do that. They have been trying to make superstars a thing again, only that it's not going to happen in this day and age. Well, they destroyed the superstar. They destroyed the superstar of how they went about this. I'll tell you, the MCU destroyed the superstar. The MCU destroyed that. And then on top of that, what also destroyed the superstar is social media. Social media destroyed the superstar. Because this, you got to understand this. I remember, and it's funny, I feel so old. I remember sitting in the hospital, and my baby mom was about to go into labor, but about to deliver pretty soon. My daughter, and I remember when Twitter was just brand new. Now this is like around what 2000. This is like around like 2000. This is 2009, and I kept hearing the word tweet. I'm like, tweet? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck is a tweet? I've never heard of it before. I keep hearing it, but I don't know what it is. And Twitter started blowing up because of Ashton Kutcher and his wife, Demi Moore. For some strange reason, people kept making a big deal out of them, but they were making a big splash on Twitter. And that's what really started making Twitter popular. It started becoming popular because celebrities started using it. Celebrities started using Twitter. And it was the first time where regular people like us, peasants like us, were now able to talk to the Hollywood elites. And this also was scary for journalism, and this was also scary for public relations, and managers, of these Hollywood stars, because you no longer had the media or the press or the celebrities or anything no longer had to go to the public relations manager of said celebrity or whatever like that anymore. They didn't have to go through them no more. Now Twitter was like that buffer now, or was that platform allowed you to go around these people to actually have actual access to the celebrity. So what happened was, we're going to talk about the Legend of Zelda thing in a second. So what happened was, what Twitter did was it just started destroying. It started pulling down the veil of how we view the celebrity, the Hollywood celebrity, the musicians, the athletes. It destroyed that veil. It removed the veil from our eyes. It's because the only way we had any form of connection or contact with these celebrities is if you went to a concert, a red carpet, or we accidentally bump into them in public, and most of the time during interviews. So what happens is we formulate our own opinion or our own image of what we think of these celebrities, if you get what I'm saying. because we had no actual form of communication with them other than the television screen, and what the press and the managers and them have of them and present in front of us. So now you fast forward to now Twitter, which no one imagined to end up being the powerhouse that it is and influence that it has on society. Now we have gotten to the point to where we're talking to our favorite voice actors, our favorite athletes, our favorite rappers and rock band artists and all kinds of stuff. We can even talk to the president and all kinds of other things on social media and everything. So now the illusion of what we thought of these celebrities slowly started fading away, because now we're starting to actually see what these celebrities are actually like, because now they're voicing their opinion. Now we're starting to hear from the horses' mouths themselves instead of the fake illusion that the media and the press has given us about these individuals. Like my grandmother my grandmother always told me, no one, what she say? No one will ever know how dumb you really are until you start talking. Sometimes it's best to shut the fuck up. Sometimes it's best to shut the fuck up. It is sometimes the best to shut the fuck up. Some people may think of so highly of you until you open your fucking mouth. And whatever image they had of you is totally destroyed, because you're not the person that they thought you were because of the stupid shit that you say out your fucking mouth. Their whole illusion of you. Same thing, guys. Sometimes there's a chick out there that may actually really fucking dig you and really fucking like you until you open your fucking mouth. And vice versa with ladies too, where guys interested until she open her mouth. But it's the same thing with the fellas, because most of my audience are males. It's the same thing. Sometimes you can destroy your whole image just by what the fuck you say out your damn mouth. And that's what social media, it's better to let people think you are an idiot than to open your mouth and prove it. Yeah. It's better to let people think of what they think of you. Like I said, some people have positive images of you until you open your fucking mouth and it doesn't line up to the image that they have of you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what social media did. Now we're starting to see how these celebrities actually think, how they think of us and how they view the world. And a lot of them are fucking stupid. A lot of them are very dense. A lot of them fucking arrogant. A lot of them fucking ignorant of the world because they're rich. They don't have to deal with the problems that we deal with and everything like that. And we starting to also see that a lot of them don't have freedom. A lot of them don't really have control. A lot of them are being controlled, because if they say something that is out of line, their whole livelihood is destroyed. So they have to get with the program and become part of the machine. Exactly. Yup, he said exactly. There were a lot of celebrities I was okay with, but after social media, they all changed. Yup, that's how it is. When people get to know how stupid celebrities are, they kind of lost their shine. Yeah. So now it's hard. And who else said this? Who was it? That is Jamie Foxx. He said it's not fun being a celebrity anymore. He said it's not fun being a celebrity anymore because everything is seen, everything they say now is seen through a microscope. Like everybody's looking between the lines of what they say and everything like that. It's not fun to be a celebrity anymore. Because now they're actually being watched. People's watching what you say and how you move and stuff like that. And if they don't like you, they're going to go back into your past to find something that's seen as problematic and stuff like that. So yeah, man. The day of the celebrity, man, has been destroyed. I think the new celebrity is social media influencers, but social media influencers are starting to destroy that too. Social independent, like content creators, social media influencers, they are the new celebrities, but that's not going to really last long either, because a lot of them are starting to become controlled. A lot of them are becoming shills. A lot of them are being dishonest, manipulative, and untrustworthy as well now, because they have gained so much power. So now we have gotten to a point now where we should have gotten back to, and I think we will eventually get there, but it's going to take some time because how much society has been damaged by this stuff. I think we're going to eventually get back to the era where everybody starts thinking for themselves. Because at one point you was able to trust content creators because they had their best interests. They had you at their best interests because they were just like you. They were regular people that just sitting in front of the camera like you and I, like how I'm sitting in front of the camera. I'm a regular dude that just talk shit and give my fucking opinions on things. You know what I'm saying? And now a lot of people have given their trust to these people because at first it was well intentioned that these content creators and these people were speaking for them because they're relatable. They're just like them. They live a regular life. They're not rich. They don't got millions of dollars. They just sit in front of their camera, a shitty camera at times for the most part, and just live a regular life. And they speak up for the common people like us. You know what I'm saying? And then they get popular. And they end up bringing light to some of our favorite hobbies and stuff like that. And it grows the community and stuff. But at some point, then they start becoming celebrities. They start making millions upon millions of dollars. And then that's when that disconnect comes in. So now they can no longer relate to us anymore. Now it's about the money. You know what I'm saying? It's about the money now. How much more money can they make? You know what I'm saying? So now there's a whole elite of content creators and social media influencers now. That's just like the Hollywood celebrity. And even when it comes to the culture war, man, you had people that you could trust or you thought you could trust and everything. But a lot of them are manipulative. A lot of them don't have your best interest at heart either. So what does that tell you? That we need to stop idolizing people, and we need to start thinking for our fucking selves. Just because I give Superman a 6 out of 10 doesn't mean that you should just take it for what I've said for face value. If you're on the fence for Superman and you really debating this stuff, my personal opinion is go see it for yourself. Don't listen to these YouTubers and everything. Because in my personal opinion, and I said it even on YouTube, I said it on Twitter. You can go check my feed. I said it on Twitter. I was one of the main niggas that was like really dunking on this Superman film. Before the film came out, I was dunking on it. But I never told you guys not to see it. It was just my personal opinion of it. And I also tell people that I was going to see this movie anyway because I wanted to see for myself. And before I even saw the movie, there was all these other YouTubers, and this is why, in my personal opinion, I think a lot of the hate that it is getting. And again, every time I say this, people think that I'm like that I'm fully on board with this Superman film, that this is like the greatest Superman film. I'm not saying that, but there's nuance to this. I'm trying to say something here. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of this feel forced because there's a lot of people that have been dunking on this movie, making videos. I was dunking on it. I made some tweets about it, but I'm talking about people who monetized it, made a shit ton of money, and kept making videos upon videos and everything. And I went to the movies myself to see it. And before I went to go see it, I was watching what other YouTubers were saying after they seen it, and they were saying so much about the film, dunking on the film, and saying a lot of things about the film. And then when I got there and watched it for myself, I was like, this movie wasn't bad. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. But the way that these people had set it up and how they talk about this film, it doesn't line up with what I've seen about the film. And some of the things he said about it, like I said before, when they talked about Superman gets no respect. I'm like, what? I said, what do you mean he doesn't get he's not respecting this film? I like, the man literally stopped a war. And you look at the clip of him yelling at Lois Lane. No, that's Lois Lane being a journalist and actually asking the sensitive questions. How does that look in the eye of our government or the eye of our people, of the people of this planet? How does that look? And that's the reason why he snapped out, is because he's not seeing it in the sense of him, being a dictator or things like that. He's thinking he's doing good, which he is. But that was the whole point. If you think about Superman, especially in the Justice League, remember the Justice League cartoon? Where Lex Luthor's trying to set Superman up and to make him look like he's like the bad guy or crazy and stuff like that. And remember where people started questioning the whole reason why Katniss got together, because they were scared of the Justice League, was because these motherfuckers had the tower up in space. They had it up in space. They got a fucking laser cannon. And who said that? Was it Green Arrow said that? Green Arrow said to Superman, he said, "Listen, dude, I didn't ask to be a Justice League member. Y'all pretty much forced me to be part of the Justice League." He said, "I'm gonna be honest. I'm just a dude that shoot fucking arrows. That's all I am." He said, and the thing is, there's a lot of you guys who are super powered. And he was making sense. And Superman, it was still trying to rationalize. And I understand from Superman's point of view that no, it's not like that. We're not like that. But you have to understand how that looks. You have to understand how this looks. You have a tower up in space with a cannon aiming at the planet. But that came from the Targaryens when they came and invaded. So you know what I'm saying? But you have to look at it from that perspective of people who are concerned. He said, was like, you allure, and that's why I'm aboard. Miss folks who gives the system the finger, but now we got baby. 1 second. Yeah, I love Bread, man. Captain Bread, like he always coming with the sayings. His sayings be it'd be funny as hell. So YouTube celebs are out of reality as well. Looking at Moist Critical after he got exposed. Yup, he's not respected by the Justice Gang, who he trusts with secret identities. Yeah, well, the thing is, the Justice Gang, the thing they don't like about Superman, because I mean, if they really didn't respect him, then they wouldn't follow any of his order. They wouldn't help him for anything, but they actually helps him. The thing they don't like about Superman is that he takes everything, he sees everything through a naive lens. Like, the thing they didn't like about Superman was the fact is that he didn't want to kill that kaiju or whatever like that. And he looked like, yo, dude, are you serious? Like, this thing is destroying shit. And the other thing, the reason why the Justice Gang didn't like Superman was after the fact. After what Lex Luthor did, which we've seen that done before. Lex Luthor always tricked the people and stuff like that. But he got that back. But when you see it in the beginning, everybody loves Superman. The whole thing of this premise of this movie was to get you to hate him. That was the whole point, because Lex Luthor wanted power. That's the whole point. That was the whole point of the film. And then the real messaging of the film for this Superman film is that a man is not a man is judged by his action, not where he comes from. That was the whole message of the film, because he comes from Krypton, and despite what his parents said, that doesn't define him. That was the message of the movie. The whole message of the movie was you're judged and defined by your actions and who you are, rather than where you come from. So yes, when that was revealed, of course the people were afraid. They had every right to be afraid. He's an alien from fucking space. He's an alien. He is an alien from space that has this power that no one can stop or whatever like that. But he saved people. But once it was revealed that he was sent there to actually take over, then of course people are going to feel some type of way. But the people who didn't waver was the people who loved him and wanted him to end that war. And you should be shouting and not knowing how the process of the interview should go. Like, not knowing how a record means, stuff like that. the thing about that situation, he's arguing with his girlfriend. That's his girlfriend. He's arguing with her. He's arguing with her. That's what the whole situation is for. It was showing the human aspect of him, because the whole point of that interview was she was still asking, "Are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, we're dating each other and stuff like that, but are you sure you want me to interview you as Superman?" Because she's preparing him to say like, "Yo, yeah, you're my boyfriend and stuff, but I'm gonna have to do my job as an interviewer." So during that interview, when they were arguing and stuff like that, it was mixing up a girlfriend and boyfriend relationship while a profession at the same time. I can see why that argument scene where Superman is saying what he's saying would go out that way. The moment you become clouded up, now maybe because now they have all his blackmail evidence. I'm aware it can't trust them. Probably enemy number one. Move over. Forget to tell you, I'm downloading Street Fighter 6. And did you see Sagat trailer? Like Muay Thai with that design. Yeah. I seen Sagat's trailer. It's pretty cool. And both Dragon Ball and Street Fighter share similarities. I wouldn't trust him. You are far more likely to have a living dictator than a benevolent one. It's rather odd that people quickly turn on. Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I didn't like that part, how they turned on them so fast. But this is where the comic booky thing comes in. Because this is what you have to understand. This is where the comic booky thing comes in. Because everybody did turn on them fast. And this is where the comic booky thing comes in. Because think about this too. You know what's so crazy about the Justice League cartoon? Is how many times did you see Lex Luthor gets caught doing so many sinister things, but they still allowed this man to be the president of the United States? So that's where the comic booky thing comes into place. How can you let a man like Lex Luthor, and he's been caught on numerous accounts of doing sinister things that put a lot of people at risk, and yet he was still nominated as the president of the United States? So you also have to look at it from the lens of the comic book aspect of it, where you like, okay, it's a comic book. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing with the movie. I didn't like the fact is that how everybody turned on that fast after seeing that one footage and didn't question that footage. But that's where the comic booky part comes in. Human nature is self-serving and at the worst. It is, but like Lois Clark is a journalist too, so he should know how to separate professional from personal. But also at the same time, he is being questioned as also Superman. This dude is being questioned where he still thinks that what he's doing is a good thing. Like he's not only a boyfriend, he's Superman and a journalist. He's three different things that he's combined, that he's juggling back and forth. I can understand him feeling that way, feeling the way that he does, that he's actually being pressed for what he thinks that he's doing is a good thing. So it makes sense. The dude's not perfect. The fact that the Joker and Lex have not been executed is the most unbelievable thing in comics. Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. Lois was in the right for doing her job and not playing bias. Yeah, kind of how that happened in real life. So that and it's almost like the same situation like Kingpin and Daredevil. Yeah, like so. There's some things that, hey, if we want things to be comic booky, then this is the stuff that comes with it. That's just how it is. Like, we can't have it both ways. We can't have we can't get mad at why this is that and then want things to be comic booky at the same time. That's just the comic booky thing, the way of things and stuff like that. That's why I would not be surprised if we get a President Luthor in this film. That's how comic booky that this James Gunn Superman is. That's how comic booky the Superman film is. Like I said, even with Zack Snyder Superman, that Superman has flaws. And this is the thing about Man of Steel. Man of Steel is still one of my favorite Supermans. The thing that I did not like about the Man of Steel Superman is, one, the day that is his first time donning the Superman suit and the cape, and this dude not only saved the world, but he was able to defeat a Kryptonian general who's known for war, one of the most genius minds in warfare and combat, and also his lieutenants. And Superman was raised on a farm. How is that possible? His first day being Superman, he's fighting some of the strongest Kryptonians ever. We didn't get no montage of him being Superman for a while, saving people. We didn't get none of that in Man of Steel. None of that. But I love the film. I had my gripes with certain aspects of it. I truly believe that Metallo and Lex Luthor should have been the first villains. The introduction of Kryptonite should have been the first movie to show as a lesson to Superman that he's not fully invincible, that he can be hurt. That should have been the theme of that movie, where he thinks that he can't be hurt until he meets his match where he can be hurt because of the Kryptonite. They should have did that as the first film. They shouldn't have made the first film Zod. That like dude, that you see the amount of destruction. Krypton, like Metropolis was pretty much decimated in the first film. Like it was like Avengers level threat for his first time being Superman. That was one of my biggest issues with the Man of Steel. But despite that, still one of my favorite films. So I'll say the same thing with Superman, James Gunn Superman. I enjoyed the film despite some of the flaws in the errors that I didn't like, but it was an enjoyable film. Luthor version we got in Batman. Oh, that was the worst Lex Luthor, dog. You can't ask for realism and fantasy at the same time. Exactly. Like you can't have it both ways. General Zod and Krypton never had experience with their powers. So Superman, but that still doesn't make a difference. You don't have to have that experience with the powers, but it's still about the combat. They know war. It doesn't matter. And this also proved it too. Zod adapted to his powers right away. Yeah, he didn't understand his powers, but during the film, he adapted right away. He adapted. So that's throwing out the window that Superman was on the planet long enough. Zod, because he's a war general, he'd been through combat and stuff, he adapted to his powers right away. It didn't take long for him to adapt. It did not. So that's still another thing that I did not like too much with that film. It's his first time being Superman. And they gave him such a challenge like that. This Superman, people's upset he's getting his ass kicked. I'm like, yo, the film explains that, he's not even at full power. And it explains that he's never been defeated until now. And him being defeated is by someone that looks like him, that's actually him, a clone of him. You know what I'm saying? And he's only been Superman for 3 years, So I was like, how can we give this Superman and Man of Steel the benefit of the doubt where he had to fight 3 fucking Kryptonians, 3 of them, and not in his first time as Superman. First time, Give a challenge, equal power to character, it makes it interesting. Why couldn't the live action movies be like how the animated series of Batman and Superman and lead into Justice League? Yeah, like I said, the little animated series is the fucking blueprint. I don't know why. Basically, Goku, if he's a Kryptonian instead of Zan. I don't know why they refuse to borrow any of the blueprint of how to set up this stuff for live action DC movies. I don't understand. Like Justice League War. If the Snyderverse didn't want to do individual movies first, Justice League War was a perfect movie of how the Justice League got together. It's the first time them getting together, and none of us know any of their backstories. They just get together in this animated series, in this animated movie, and you was down for it. And how they brought them together, you was down for it. And it worked. It worked without origin stories or anything. You're just thrusted into it, and you're going along for the ride. And for some strange reason, the Snyderverse couldn't even do that shit. That's what boggles that's what boggles my mind. That's what boggles my mind. It's crazy. But anyway, with that being said, MCU adapted the blueprint and did it well for the first 3 phases. Agree. Superman's been Earth absorbing solar 30 years. Zod's people just showed up. Seems kind of off. He said nowadays people now watch My Hero Academia than Marvel. Yeah, and that's sad. And My Hero Academia is influenced and inspired by Western comics, and they're doing it better than them. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, they rushed in seeing Doomsday do. I wasn't even excited when they was talking about Doomsday so early. I'm like, we didn't even earn it. We didn't even earn Doomsday. And then Doomsday himself, when he was introduced, complete ass. Like I said, I'm not gonna go into details with that because I want to save that for later, where I go all day about the Snyderverse. Actually, I had a whole blueprint of how I would have did the DCEU and had my own I had my own phases and everything of how to put these movies out. You know, but yes, but yeah, 6 out of 10. If you were on the fence, I suggest just go give it a try. Go see it. If you're on the fence and you're leaning like I want to try it, I suggest give it a try. Think for yourself, people. Stop listening to these YouTubers. Think for yourself and draw your own conclusion. We got to get back to this. We're relying on the thoughts of other people for far too long now. First, we thought we can trust individual content creators and stuff. Now you can't even. First, we got away from the celebrity. First, and then we got away from the media. And then we started relying on content creators. We have to stop this. We got to start thinking for ourselves. We got to, people. Start thinking for yourselves. There's nothing wrong with like, okay, I like to hear what this person had to say, but we got to stop relying on these people as the voice of decision making of your life choices and things that you want to do. We got to stop this shit. This parasocial relationships that people are having with complete strangers over the internet. And when the moment that these people don't fit the image that you once had in your head, your whole life falls apart. We got to stop this shit. This shit is not healthy. You got to start thinking for yourself. It's going to do and showing comic events, but wanted to rush to catch up to Marvel. That's where they made a mistake, man. That's where they made a mistake. Deathstroke is knowing Miles. Death Battle doing Miles Morales versus Deku. I haven't watched that. I gotta take Angry Joe word for it, man. I'm sorry. But and don't get AI girlfriends. So yeah, man. That's essentially it for this review and everything. I hope you guys enjoyed it and stuff. And let me bring up. I forgot to put in this plug. Don't forget to check out Strike and Keo Tees. This is my brothers, Strike and Keo. They're custom t-shirt business where we stationed in Philadelphia. Got our own steam press machines. We customize shirts, mugs, hoodies, tumblers, sweatpants, bathing suits. We do it all. Leggings, everything. If you have a custom shirt or anything in mind, you can contact my brothers and they can get to you right away. Get your design on whatever items that you want your designs on. And if you live in the Philadelphia area, you can actually come to the studio and pick up your items instead of waiting for us to ship it to you. Or if you live super close by, we can just drive it to you. It doesn't matter, whatever option works for you. So definitely go check that out. And then, of course, check out my website, VenusOrionComics.com. This is my website. If you guys are interested in what I'm doing, because like I said before, like my priority now is Venus Orion Comics. It's not Culture War. It's not even gaming news anymore. It's my comic book universe, because I eventually going to have my comic books eventually become video games, become anime, and all kinds of other things that I want my IP to stretch out to, you know what I'm saying, and reach out to everyone. So you can go to my website. There's a lot of things you can check out on my site. You can get news, you can get updates right here on the latest updates. I update monthly, so every month there's going to be something new added to the website that you can go check out for yourself. So now we finally got like 2 pages. We got 2 pages worth of content now on the news and updates. It's only going to get bigger and bigger as you progress. Also, we have the Paragons of Fate, which is the characters and cast of my universe. And it's not just heroes. The Paragons of Fate is also villains, NPCs, supporting characters, and everything. So every month, there will be a new Paragon uploaded where you'll see the new tag, which we have Adaptima. She's the new one right here. You can go check her. You can go check her out to get the backstory on her, which I look forward to hearing your thoughts and what you think about Adaptima. Also, you can go to my shop where you can actually buy my comic, which we'll talk a little bit about in a bit. You can buy either you can buy Varian Keller's Vampire Killer t-shirt, VS Orion comic t-shirts and mugs. You can get the physical comic, and you can also get the digital comic for $5. It's only $5. It's only $5. So if you want to take a chance and see what VS Orion Comics is all about, and you want to show support and see if this is something that you like, just it's $5. It costs less than a McDonald's meal. So you can definitely go check that out as well. And then of course I got a Patreon now. I got a Patreon. One of my subscribers had gave me some gift subs. So I gotta see how it works, where I can those who may be interested and want to be subscribed to the Patreon. I got a couple gift subs I can give to you guys, so you can so you can become a member. So if you're interested in that, hit me up if you're interested in getting access to it. I think I only have three gift subs for it or whatever. But yeah. What the Patreon does is it supports what I'm doing with VS Orion Comics, because I'm an independent creator. This stuff costs money. Comics cost money, and VK Chapter 2 is going to cost me a lot of money. So I'm putting up a lot of my money up front. And if you want to help with the process and show some support, you can also help by becoming a member of the Patreon, which is only $3. Got a $3 tier and we got a $5 tier. The $3 tier, you get the behind the scenes news and everything behind the development of Varian Keller's Vampire Killers, and a lot of what I've been doing with the creation of my comic book series and VS Orion Comics universe in general for only $3. And it's interesting to see, the mind and the thoughts and how I came up with some of this stuff for the VS Orion Comics universe. And then for $5, most of it's video content, and it's called the Lore Seeker. If you're a person that really wants to get into the lore of VS Orion Comics, there will be a lot of lore videos and breakdowns. We already have 2 lore videos that breakdown videos. We actually have 3. Actually, we have 3 lore video breakdowns so far of VK Chapter 1, Varian Keller's Vampire Killers Chapter 1. There are also going to be some behind the scenes documentaries as well for VS Orion Comics, all in this tier for $5. And for the $5 tier, you also still have access to the $3 tier. So every tier, wherever the highest tier is, you get access to all the other content from the tier below that tier. So yes, for $5 a month, you also get the $3 a month content along with the $5 a month content. So yes, there will be other tiers in the near future. So also keep that in mind. But this also helps. And as I said before, if I can make about $500 a month, as the minimum a month, you don't understand how much that will actually help speed the process of getting out my books, especially VK Chapter 2, which is going to be 74 pages. And this shit is going to cost me a lot of fucking money. And as I told you before, my Kickstarter campaigns are not crowdfunders. They're pre-order campaigns, meaning that the book is already funded by me and comes out of my pocket. It comes out of my pocket. So all you have to do is put money down to make sure you have a copy of the book. And what it does is it pays for the printing costs and the shipping costs. So when I did the first campaign for Chapter 1, we started in January. It closed in February. And then when the money cleared, when I got the crowdfunding money in March, we began to start shipping out. We begin to get it printed. The prints were done in April, and then everybody got their books by May. So you got it all in the same year. You didn't have to wait 2 to 3 years for a book or anything. You got it in a couple of months. So and I want to continue that trend. But at the same time, the whole point of these campaigns as well is whatever is left over from the campaigns goes back into the company, and that's supposed to help finance these books. And the first chapter, despite it being a successful campaign or whatever, it still didn't leave enough left over where I can use that money to go into the next book, which means I have to save that money, hold on to it, and let it pile up and add on to whatever money's going to be left over for chapter 2, which means in chapter 2, I have to spend more money out of my pocket again. But you can alleviate some of that by actually supporting me on Patreon, and you're getting some perks out of it as well by supporting me and everything. So if I can get about $500 as a minimum a month, you don't understand how much that actually helps. That is actually a big deal. So that's for those who are interested. And then, of course, Venus Orion Comics YouTube channel, which I'll post. Let me put the Patreon in the link. He said about people, they watch too much anime and hate talking to real people. Dr. Umar wants to do a comic book. I sent him your info. You made stupid. All right, so this is the Patreon, so keep that in mind. Also, the newsletter, guys. The newsletter is very essential. It also keeps you up to date with everything. I also do discount codes for the store, for to get for the merchandise at times. You also get free wallpapers as well. Free wallpapers that you can use for your mobile devices and your computer, desktop screens and stuff like that, your laptops. So that's also a perk, and it's free. It costs you nothing. All you do is put your email there, and the email goes into a database that I have that it collects. And I send out a newsletter at least at the minimum once a month for you guys to let you know what's going on with Venus Orion Comics. So definitely, I suggest that you get on that. And Venus Orion Comics, my YouTube channel. I'll post that here. This is where I'll be spending most of my time at creating content. Wow, I'm at 300 subscribers now. Awesome. People are coming in because of my new videos and stuff. I am working on a video series called Story Creation Process Tutorials Series, where I pretty much share my creation process, how I come up with the ideas of stories and everything, and how I go about creating characters, how I go about organizing my workflow when putting together my stories and my documents and stuff like that, how I write my scripts. Is a whole series that I'm working on, and the first video came out, which is the story creation for beginners. Like I said, I'm no pro, I'm no professional, I'm a beginner, and I want to share that beginner knowledge with you guys. So it's for beginners. Even if you're a professional or whatever, or a little thing about story ideas, idea creation, and and you also want to see my process and maybe implement it into your process, check out the video. If you have an idea for a story for a game, a comic book, movie, it doesn't matter. It applies to any form of media when coming up with an idea for a story. So definitely check out the video. You may find it useful. So go to the YouTube channel. If you find it interesting, subscribe. And I plan on doing an entire series. So the second video that will be coming out will be how I talk about the character creation process. How do I create my characters? How do I come up with my characters? So that's going to be a video to itself. So stay tuned for that. It's going to take a while because I have to work. You don't understand the amount of work that I put into this story creation for beginner guide. That took me a while. It took me a minute to put together. So this next video is also going to take a minute for me to put together, but it will be a video. And then also there will be some extra tutorial guides that's only exclusive to the Patreon for those who really want to go even farther into story creation and other things. So I'll be working on that as well. I'll be providing that in the Patreon pretty soon. I'll make an announcement video for the YouTube channel itself. So definitely go check it out if that's something that you're into. I really appreciate it as well. And also just to give you an idea of how I got some previews of my lore videos, so you know how they are. And like I said, all the videos that I have on my Patreon, you'll be able to download them and have them for yourself. So you're not just watching them on Patreon. You can download the videos and keep them for yourself. So just to give you an example of, here's a preview of one of my lore videos that's on the Patreon as well. Hear it. I forgot. Let me, because I'm using the other feature, share feature. Hold up. Let me do that in a second. And then of course my Mugen Lord channel if you're interested as well. So let me hold on. Give me a second, guys. So let me go pull video file. 1 second. Give me a second. Woo! Jeez. Let that load. All right, so there we go. No, wrong one. Oh, excuse me. All right, this will give you a perfect example of what you can get from the Patreon. There's a preview of one.
A shadowy figure watching
what the hell? There we go.
From across the rooftops, calm, confident, like he was always part of the plan. For now, we call him the Rooftop Watcher. Getting a little too close, my friend. But don't worry. Our paths will cross soon enough. He wasn't speaking to Jasmine. He was speaking to Wrath, and he knew he was being watched. And if you backed VK Chapter 1, you might have seen him even earlier.
Yeah, so that's one of them, and then I have another one. What is it? Let me pull this up. And there's another preview of another one on the Patreon.
All of that control is something boiling. On page 5, we get his profile. Alias, Young Wrath. Name, Hezekiah Draben. Age, 28. Height, 5 feet 9 inches. Weapons, a long sword named Redeemer, and a pistol called the Bravura. Special trade, Vampire Hunter. But even with that title, we still don't really know what he is. His partner, Teklock, calls him Wrath. Not Hez, not Draben, just Wrath. So what does that alias mean? Is it about how he fights, or what's buried inside him? Because when...
Yeah, and then one more I have for you guys. All right, it's the last one.
A woman crawls for help. She's bleeding, panicked, and she's wearing a high-tech device around her wrist. A Guardian security band. It activates automatically, flashing protection enabled. And then, she's dead. So what is this thing supposed to protect her from? And why did it fail? These bands measure something called a Guardian score. Think of it like a credit rating, but for survival. If your score is high, maybe help comes. If it's low, you're on your own. Page 1 shows her score was good. Didn't matter. So either the system's broken, or it was never meant to protect people like her.
Yeah, so yeah, that's just to give you an idea, the kind of content that you can get from the Patreon and everything. If that's something that you're interested in, I can't wait till we actually get the Ultra Squad X, like the characters you see right here that everybody always asks about. I can't wait till we actually get to break down videos of that as well. I'm already in the process of looking for voice actors for the upcoming chapter of VK Chapter 2, which let me bring up the image as well so I can bring it up to you guys. Do 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 do. All right, where we go? Where do I go? Whoa. Where do I go? Whoa, whoa. Where do I go? Whoa. All right, let's see. Where is it? Got so many. There we go. All right, it was this one right here. Click through this folder. This will happen when you got so much. You created so much stuff, even despite how organized it is. You just got so much folders. Yeah. Let me go bring this up. All right. So yes, we are doing. I'm already starting the marketing for VK Chapter 2, and everything, and we just revealed the first character that's going to appear in Chapter 2 of VK, which is Dr. Yolanda Briggs. And we also have three other characters in this panels right here that's going to be revealed over time, leading all the way up. Like there's a bunch of characters. These are just the first set right here for VK Chapter 2. And Dr. Yolanda Briggs was the first character that was revealed. The next character won't be revealed until September. I'll be revealing the second character that's in the silhouette, right there. So I'm looking forward to see, what your response is, your feedback, for the next character. But Dr. Yolanda Briggs is a member of the special group called the counter group called the Retributes, which is a team that's been put together by Varian Keller himself. And Dr. Yolanda Briggs and the Draven brothers themselves and Techlock is also a member of the Retributes. But there are other members too, and I can't wait for you to be able to find out who they are and give you a little bit of brief background story to them and everything. So that's also going to be pretty cool when I finally reveal that as well. And I appreciate the feedback that you guys have gave when it came to the reveal of Dr. Yolanda Briggs, which I have right here. Bring it up. Video files. Videos. Keep pressing the wrong video. God damn it. All right. No, not. Did it again. Okay. All right. So where's it? Carolina. Okay. Yeah. So this right here, Dr. Yolanda Briggs. Yeah, so every character will get so every character will get a reveal sequence. Eventually, once I get the voice acting actors for the cast, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another version of it with the voice acting of that character and everything. So definitely stay tuned for that. But yeah, this was the first reveal trailer with Dr. Briggs character. So if you're on the Patreon, if you a backer on the Patreon, well, a patron on the Patreon, or if you're on the newsletter, you got a free wallpaper. You got free wallpapers, a mobile wallpaper and a desktop wallpaper of Dr. Yolanda Briggs. So as I said before, if you're not on a newsletter, get on the newsletter because you can get free stuff. And when you get on the newsletter, when I send out the next newsletter, you get access to the archives to all the wallpapers that was previously released. So you'll be able to have them. And I love the fact is that you guys show off like which one's your favorite in the Discord and stuff like that. you screen capture your phone, or you screen capture your desktop screen with the wallpaper, with your favorite wallpaper. So I do appreciate that and everything. So thanks again when it comes to that. But essentially that pretty much wraps everything up for the stream. I will be doing another stream on Friday with you guys to catch up. We'll probably talk about the casting for Zelda. Said Dr. Briggs during the battle. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll probably most likely talk about the casting for the live action Zelda and what my thoughts is on that. And just chill. We'll talk about a lot of other things. Like we'll discuss some things that you guys probably want to ask me some questions about, my opinions on certain stuff. We'll definitely do that. And then I've also probably next week stream, I'll do I'll do some tier list streams, especially when it comes to the DC animations movies that I watched. He said, I cannot believe dudes were bringing up Hunter Schafer. Yeah. So that pretty much wraps this up. So yeah, we're gonna save that conversation for Friday for the Legend of Zelda casting and everything, and what my thoughts are and what you guys think about that as well. It feels good being back talking to you guys in the live stream, man. It really does feel good. It's been a long time since past couple of weeks now. And now I'm feeling that groove again. So yeah, definitely be back Friday, probably around like 5 or 6 p.m. We'll start and everything. So you guys have a good night, and I'll be seeing you Game Fiends later. Oh yeah, and I'm getting Donkey Kong Bonanza tomorrow too for my Nintendo Switch 2, which I still have yet. I still have yet to open this damn thing. But yeah, so yeah, I'll be seeing you Game Fiends later. Peace out.